gain mastery and expertise over a period of time. We have Bincom Tech Apprenticeship. It's an industrial attachment at various skill levels to gain experience and on-the-job training. So if you want to get hands-on experience, you already have the skill, but you need a place to practice this skill. We have Bincom Tech Apprenticeship program for you. We also have Bincom community events and projects, which is geared at giving back to the community and building the tech ecosystem. They focus on exposing the youth to current technology trends and how to prepare for the future in technology. We're currently having one of Bincom services, which is the UI UX meetup, and it's expected that we all engage, collaborate, get to meet everyone, get to discuss, and everything should be based on the topic or the theme. So we have the Lightspace. Lightspace provide helpful workspace. Okay. Lightspace provide helpful workspace intended to encourage collaboration and drive innovation in the startup ecosystem. We have spaces that is created and designed for various events like seminar, conference, and get together. So if you're around any of our physical locations and you need a working space, a place where you can hold your events or any of seminars or any of those things, you can use our Bincom Lightspace. Then we have the Bincom Global Tech Program. The Bincom Global Tech Program is your solution to launch your tech career globally. So it's a 2 years program focused on three key pillars, which is learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. And then you've seen the price there, and we also have other event options. So if you're already skilled in particular tech field and you're looking to gain experience in the global market, Bincom Global Tech is for you. And just to remind you, stay till the end of this session. There is something for you, and I'm sure you do not want to miss what this is. So kindly stick around, hang around till we finish, and we'll give you or show you what we have to offer for the participants. So moving on, we have the Emigrate. Emigrate helps you become globally attractive. A tech profile or tech-enabled business is your tech-enabled pathway to relocation or settlement in countries like the UK, USA, Canada, and France. So are you looking to travel out or relocate or japa, like we say? Emigrate is for you. You can get more insight or more knowledge on how to go about the relocation routes. So we have the Bincom mentoring platform. It's a structured mentoring solution to help mentors add value to mentees for the purpose of building globally attractive techies. So if you're here and you know that you're good enough and you want to impact, you want to teach other people, Bincom mentoring platform is for you. We also have Labs by Bincom, and it's a 3 to 6 month pre-incubator program that brings together participants to build a digital technology product which would be used by real life users. So if you have an idea or you're a startup founder and you need that program where you can actually build products, then we have Labs by Bincom, which will help you get started, which will help you know how it is or give you insight on becoming that global startup founder. Yeah, and then we also have the Bincom Tech Career Coaching, which helps individuals to land their next role faster by offering a combination of coaching, relevant on-the-job experience, career referencing, introduction to tech recruiters, hands holding, application and interview process, and much more. So, Bincom offers you literally full packages of a lot of services, and you really just don't want to miss it. So, if any of this here is of your interest, we'll be sharing a link here. You can just fill in your details and let us know which option works best for you. Okay, so I think literally everything, so we don't waste so much time. Literally, all of this is just breaking down what these services do in particular, and I will just do a little touch on them. So we have Bincom Academy. It is an intensive training program facilitated by Bincom Dev Center. So each technology or application development has typically 4 weeks of intensive training. During this period, we shall take participants through our training curriculum for that knowledge track in a Montessori approach. So if you want to get started and you're so confused where to actually start from, you should actually register for the Bincom Academy program. Then we have the live space. Like I mentioned, you need a workspace, you need a place where you can hold conferences, seminars, and get together. So our light space is for you. If you're interested in any of these, you can reach out to us. We'll be sending links across, and then you can just drop which you're interested. So can move on to the next slide. Okay, Bincom community events. We mentioned that aim to give back to the community and building the tech ecosystem. Bincom community events is divided into 5. We have master classes, we have meetups, we have idea sharing sessions, we have explore on the move, challenge and brainstorm. Idea sharing community events are Bincom ICT Career Talk and Career Drill Down. So we'll be having our ICT Career Talk on the 29th of this month, which we will be talking about AI and your job. So do you think your job would no longer be sufficient in the next 5 years with the influx of AI? I'm sure you really don't just want to miss it. So the ICT Career Talk is coming up, and you really don't you can stay updated by following our page so that you will be highly informed and you won't miss this. So moving on, so we don't waste so much time. I'll be bringing up something again. I told you I have a package for everyone here, and you don't want to miss it. So I talked about the Global Tech Program. If you're looking to learn skill, gain experience, or you want to gain exposure, this program is for you. We have different payment options. You can learn now, you can pay later. For all of this, like I said, there's a package for everyone here, and we do not want to miss this. So we'll be moving on now, and I will be calling on, okay, you can just play this video. Okay, so just so that you can gain more insight on Global Tech Program we offer. Yeah, please, you can just go back. There's a video there. Yeah. Okay, so this is it. You can learn tech now and pay later. So this you can take.
We'll share the video at the break after the speaker. After the first
Okay,
speaker.
great. Okay, great. That's fine. All right. So I will be calling on Sophia, who will be introducing our very first speaker. So sit tight. It's a meetup. We're meant to interact with each other. We're meant to share ideas. We're meant to bring up better suggestions, better ways of doing things. So do not keep quiet. Do not take all your ideas back. You're free to drop them here and we'll all discuss about it. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, or you can hold on to them for you to ask your questions. So fasten your seatbelts and make sure you're with a notepad so you can jot down some exciting things or some educative things that you would not forget. All right, Sophia, please, can we have the first speaker?
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me, please? Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Okay, our first speaker for this event is Mr. Femi Richard, a UX designer from Consto Creative. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sophia. Thanks for having me. Confirm you can hear me, please.
Fine, sir.
You can hear me, right?
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you
All right.
clearly.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Like I said, my name is Femi Richard. I am a UX designer with Console Creative. It's a New York design agency. And I'm also a freelancer. So that I'm doing a 9 to 5 for a company in the US doesn't mean I cannot take up projects and all that. Like this morning before this meeting, I had a meeting with someone in the UK that wants to design a mobile app. And that is the interesting part of being a UX designer. You can actually be working in your office and still be taking side gigs. It's really good. So I would like to share my screen and go to what we have for today. I'll be talking about strategies, UX strategies. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen clearly.
All right. So I like to start talking most times about how UI UX are two different things when I'm in events like this. And I still spoke to someone this morning that was asking what's the difference between UI design and being a product designer. So for me, I feel UX design is actually the funniest career I've ever tried to go into because the name says design, but it's more than just designing. It's not just about design and get out. You do everything and design. You have to care about what your users feel. How is it usable? How do they think? You have to be there all through the usage. And after the app is even being deployed, maybe it's been deployed on mobile app stores, you still have to keep up with, okay, what are people saying about this product? So it doesn't end in designing on Figma. So what I have here is a simple example of what happens with a lot of UI designers. So UI is, I don't know if you've gone to a boutique before and you see a nice shirt, a nice trouser, a nice skirt, and it looked really nice on the mannequin, and you're like, this thing, I go like, I go rock them and all that. And sorry, permit me, I speak a lot of pidgin too. So you buy that dress.
It's fine.
And you buy that dress and you get home and you try it and it just looks horrible on you. It doesn't size you. It's just not comfortable as you thought it would be. So what happens there is UI is your first, you know, when you say love at first sight, when you see something and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. The interface is nice. Everything is just perfect. But when you start using it, the UX part is what really matters right now. So I tell people a lot that people that want to just focus on UI, I tell them you need to know UX too. Because what's the point of designing something that will be hard to use? So for example, UI, when it comes to ketchup bottles now, you see it's nice, it's beautiful, it's standing there. But if you need to use it, you will have to turn it upside down and heat it. I think they started making new containers, by the way, that makes it easy. You can just press. But UX is how are people finding the experience when they use your app, when they use your product? So that's where the UX designer comes in. And another thing I have here, another example I have here that I love to use is you can see these baby toys on this baby cot. From outside, it looks beautiful. You have an elephant, you have a pig, you have like a squirrel, you have a tiger. It's beautiful. But from under, the baby itself that is the main user, this is what the baby is seeing. So the UI looks good, but the UX is very bad. So that's the difference between UI and UX. So UI is what they do is they focus on interface. What does the graphic look like? What does the, are the colors beautiful? Are they amazing? But UX designer focuses on more than just that. You start with the research, you do your empathy, you define, you ideate, prototype, you test, you start all over again because it's iterative. It's not just a one-off thing. You do it and you move on. Please, I will need to be timed though, so that I don't do beyond my time. All right, so I would go straight to what we have for today. And sorry, I'm sharing the wrong slide, but then it has the same thing. So sorry. All right. Okay, so I'll start by saying always put users at the heart of your design as a UX designer. And I say this a lot. And I say it because it is not called PX. It is not personal experience. It's not called Femi's experience. It's users. Like there are people that will use what you're designing. So you need to put them at the heart. Whatever you're designing, your research, your testing, whatever you're doing, your colors, like you're doing an app for old people, you're doing a website for old people, you need to know that those are your audience and you need to actually do everything you can to make sure that these people enjoy, they easily use it, it is usable to them, it is useful to them, and they're enjoying it. So UI UX strategies I was talking about today are the roadmap that you use to create great user experience. How do you create great user experience? The file I was sharing before has like 8 or 9 UX design processes. I don't know if I have time, I would share that with you, but they're like 8 processes. If you want to design a website, there are 8 different things you need to do as a UX designer. But because a lot of us are, let me not say a lot of us, a lot of people are not, you don't go through the right channel. Like they said, if you want to learn tech, it's not just something you learn overnight. They have programs that can help you. If you learn it the wrong way, you think that UX design is just about designing and giving to developers. But the truth is, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. There's a lot of other things that you do, even before you get to start designing. There are lots of other processes. I would share that if I have the time. But then I'll be sharing strategies today. And I have the first strategy here, which is number 1, be user-centric. Be user-centric. I used to be a graphic designer before I went into UX design like 3 years ago. And for me, graphic design used to be about how beautiful it looks and how satisfied I am with it and my clients. And that's it. In fact, it's more of how beautiful it looks to me. But when I came into UX design, I realized that it is not about me right now. There are designs I've done that I thought were beautiful. I thought were just perfect, but the users are not having it. The users want a brighter color. The users want a smaller font. They want a bigger font. They want a larger button. So it's not about you. It's about it. That's why your name carries user in front of it. So you're a user designer. You're designing for user. You're a user experience designer. You're a user interface designer. So they're making it clear to you so that you don't forget when you're designing that you are designing for people. So it's important that you focus on understanding your users first. Understand what they want, understand them through research. We have surveys you can do online surveys. You can design with users in mind, and this will help you create what they really love. My team and I were working on a boss hailing app recently, and we're still working on it basically. And when it was time for questionnaire, we thought we knew everything we needed. But when we threw out the questionnaire to people to ask, what do you think about an app that will help you hail bosses, like an Uber, but this time for bosses? And people started bringing up ideas, suggestions, and we could tell that this is what people would, if we do an app that have these features, or that has these features, people will really buy it. People really buy the idea. People even pay to use those apps. So you need to know what your users want. That's the first stage in every design process. You need to really do your research. Find out what your users want. Find out who are your users. I designed a dating app for teenagers before, and I had to actually give a teenager to test it before I realized some things were too big for them. Some grammars were too advanced. Some processes were not needed. So you need to interact with your users. That's the important thing. And if you spend a lot of time in understanding your user, you will not spend a lot of time in designing the product you're working on. Let me say it again. If you spend a lot of time understanding your users, you won't waste time when you're designing a product because you will have understood who you're designing for and everything they did. So I have it here. When the project starts to when it is launched, all the processes you go through, these guys are always in the middle of it. You must not forget your user. You must not forget. At no point will you take, though there's a place for business growth. Business will tell you we have our plan, we want to make this money when you design this product, and want to do this, want to do this. But don't forget, now users will still use that product. So users are like king. You know how they say customer is king or client is king? Users are king when it comes to user experience design or user interface design. Let me move to the next one quickly. Next point I have here is set goals. And this has helped me a lot because it helps me keep tab with the progress I'm making, and it helps me know what to tell my clients. For example, as a freelancer, I have a sort of documentation I give my clients before I start their work. And this document contains objectives and goals of what we're about to do. I'll tell you that for the first week, I'll get your landing page and some screens done. Second week, I'll do this. Third week, I'll do this. Fourth week, we should be doing this. Fifth week, we should be rounding off. We should be handing over to the developers and all that. So you should have these things written down. You should have them tabled down so that when it's time, you know that you're making progress. I don't know if you've been in a place where you are working and you're feeling like, I'm not making progress. You can't really tell that you're making progress because you don't have it written down. You don't have it. You didn't set goals for yourself. It's just like you say today, okay, today I'll be productive, and you didn't really specify what you want to do. You wash your clothes, you wash this, you would maybe wash your car, you would go out to see a friend, you call your parents. But at the end of the day, you will not feel like, what have I done today? You've actually done something, but because you didn't set the goal, you didn't really put it out there that this is the things I will do. You didn't even know you have actually made progress. So it's important that you set goals for yourself. You need to really set goals. What do you want to do with this app? Do you want people to engage with it? Do you want to increase the conversion rate for the client? Do you want to increase their return on the investment? Do you want people to smile? So whatever your goal is, you need to set it. You need to really be sure at the beginning of the project. You need to be sure what you're doing before you start designing. I used to tell people that I talk to a lot that you don't just open Figma and start designing. You need to actually understand what you're about to achieve first. Recently, I was working on something and it had to do with a shopping app for pregnant women where you can shop for fashion wears. And that's because my wife was pregnant and was expecting a baby, and she was going online to check for clothes, and it was hard. It was hard to get clothes. I was like, how about we have a platform where you can have clothes, or a shop in an e-shop, an e-commerce shop where you have clothes just for pregnant women. And trust me, when I did it, I had lots of people coming to me to ask, okay, how do we market this? Do you have plans for this? Sometimes I just do those things and put them online, and people come into my DM to ask, okay, let's make this go live. And who do we partner with? Which shopping brand do you think we can work with? Which dress or fashion brand, do you think we can work with to make this come to life? So set your goals. Make sure you have whatever you want to do. So by the time people were coming to me, I had the goals in mind. I had what I want to do with it in mind. And I told them, this is what I want to do, and this is what I think we should do. So it's easy to relate. Next one is try to analyze your market and competitors. Yes, do a feasibility study. This is very important. It's also in the UX design processes. You need to look at what your competitors are doing. Know the trends. Know the trends. So for example, I did something recently as well on loan apps, and I realized some of these loan apps, they just have name, but people are not rating them well. They just somehow they have so many downloads, but people are not happy with them. And I went to look at why, because I'm about to design a loan app. I need to know why people are not feeling these guys. So I did a research, and I was able to find out how we can stand out, how this particular design can stand out from other design. So you cannot be a UX designer or a product designer and not do all of these things. Except you want to do UI design, which is very fine. I know a lot of people that will tell you, I don't want to do research, nothing concerns me with research, nothing concerns me with user testing, nothing concerns me with doing surveys, nothing concerns me with all of those things. I just want to design. It is fine. There are people like that. But the truth is, your design cannot be, it can't stand near a design that is designed by a UX designer, because UX designer actually we consider a lot of things before we start designing. So what I have here is look at what your competitors are doing and identify the trends. Find unique ways to stand out and make your design shine, make it better. Make it better. So I used to tell people that whatever you're doing, a lot of people have actually done it before. There's no idea you have in your mind that somebody has not designed before. I challenge you, go and check. If you have any fresh idea in your mind, somebody has done it. I was talking to somebody recently, and the person was saying, I want to design an app that people can use to reach out to artisans. If you need a carpenter for your shop, if you need this, I want to be the first to do. I say, Baba, you're not the first. Plenty of people don't do them. There's one online that is currently being marketed well, Yodalo or so. Not marketing for them, but they did a great job. I think Gigi also has something like that, where if you need a carpenter, you need this, go there, you will see them, you see their prices. You can even chat them up, you can call them. So always analyze the market before you start. So for instance, if you're doing something like that app now, for example, if you go online, you see that this is how people are doing it. Ask yourself, what can I do that will make it better? Because I don't want to be like every other app. To be honest with you, I'm not feeling this thread app a lot, these new threads that we have. And why is that? I feel it's a replica of Twitter, and we all know that. But I was hoping they would do something different, though I've not really explored it a lot. I was hoping they would do something different. You open it, you meet something different, you meet something outstanding, something unique. Somebody put out a survey recently and was asking how many people really enjoyed using threads. And about 60% said they are not feeling it. Because yes, it's a replica. Somebody don't design this thing before. So why am I trying to copy them? Why am I not being better than them? So when you do proper research, you will find out what are people complaining about Twitter. Then you adjust it on your own. That's the mistake they made. For example, on Twitter, I think you need to be verified also to be able to edit your tweet. I think so. And Threads made the same mistake. If I was Mark Zuckerberg, I would do an app that will make people, you can edit your thread. You can edit it. You don't need to delete it if you make mistake. So I think there are lots of things they copied from Twitter because they didn't do proper research. I feel like they rushed it. In fact, somebody did a proper video, like a 30 minutes video on the mistakes they made on that Threads app. I don't know, maybe they were rushing to release it or something, but they didn't do proper, if they had done proper research, they will come out with an app that will not just be downloaded, but will be enjoyed. It's not just about how many downloads you have per day. Are people using it? Are people enjoying it? Because that's all about, that's what UX is all about. People must enjoy your product. It's not just about, the app is fine. 50,000 people downloaded it on the first day. Are they enjoying it? Now, GTB yesterday updated their app. And for those of us that use GTB, we have been very sad since yesterday. Yes, the design is fine, but I've not been able to enjoy it. I've not been able to log in since yesterday. Though that's part of the developer, not really UX, but then it's part of it. So it's not just about how many people downloaded it. It's are they enjoying it after downloading it? So do your market survey well, do your competitor analysis well, find out what your competitors are doing, what they're not doing well. There's something called SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Find out their strength, find out their weaknesses, find out opportunities you can get out from all of these things, and find out what is the threat so that you can know how to adjust your own app. So let me quickly move to the next one. Next one is make sure your brand is aligned, like there's proper alignment. Ensure that your design reflects your brand style and personality. So for example, when I'm working with the clients, I always ask them if they have a brand guide. It's very important. It's very, very, very important. Don't take up any job without asking for brand guide. In fact, let me tell you one secret. Asking for brand guide helps me get the gig to design their logo sometimes or design the brand guide for them. So some brands will tell you, yeah, we have a logo, we don't get waiting people. What's brand guide? And I tell them, okay, brand guide will break this whole thing down. It will tell you the kind of fonts that fit your brand, breaks the color down, tell you how to use this, tell you how not to use it, and explains the colors, explains everything. So I show them, it's like a 17-page, my brand guide is usually like a 17-page document that shows you everything about the brand, everything about the brand. So when you tell the clients, do you have brand guide? And they're like, we don't even know what that is. You can tell them, I'll do it for you. And that would be an extra $400, what I'm charging you. That'd be an extra $400. So usually doing logo is different from doing logo and brand guide for me. So when I'm doing just your logo, say for example, I'll charge you $100. But if you want a brand style guide, like you want a style guide and sorry, not style guide, brand guide now, you need to add an extra $300 because that's a lot of work. And in the next 10 years, you can still be using your brand guide, whether you're doing print or digital, whatever you're doing, you can still use your brand guide so that there's uniformity. So as a UX designer, always make sure that your design reflects the brand style and personality. Always ask for their colors, ask for their fonts and everything so that you can create a cohesive experience. For example, if you're working with MTN now, you can't just go and pick any yellow and just use. You need to make sure that there's consistency. People look at their website, they see the same thing. People look at their shirts, people look at their billboards. The colors are consistent and there's unison in the colors you're using. So always ask for brand style guides. That one would really help you. And it will help you earn extra money. Like I told you, you earn extra money from asking somebody. If they don't have it, help them come up with it if you're good at design, and you make more money from it. So next one is usability and accessibility. We call it A11Y, accessibility. The 11 there is the number of letters in between A and Y. And this is very important. Very, 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 very important. In fact, this was supposed to be part of the first things I would put on the points. If you're listing order of priorities for these things, usability and accessibility is very important. And I'll tell you why. Now, if you're designing a product, you need to make sure that you carry everybody along. Everybody along. I've met with people that have color blindness issues. I've met people that have hearing problems. I've met people that cannot type properly. They just want to speak. And why I like Apple products so well is because they consider all these things. You can just call Siri, open my gallery. If you cannot type, maybe you have issues with your thumb, with your finger, you can just, without touching your phone, that's accessibility. Accessibility is like you're making the product accessible. You're making it available for everybody. Whether you are blind or you don't need to see your screen, there's a text reader. You can read what is on the screen for you. So you need to carry every single person along. That's why you need to understand your users. Are my users going to be the general public, or we're looking at people with disabilities as well? You need to know who you're designing for, so that your product will be easy to use. It will be easy to navigate to your users. So I said something, I said guide users smoothly through their journey for a seamless experience. So that's the most important thing. People need to be, they need to enjoy the experience. They need to enjoy the entire journey, the entire UX journey as they're going through. Next one quickly is iterative design process. Now, usually we used to think that when I first came on board on UX design, I used to think UX design is, okay, collect the job, collect the money, do the job, submit the job, go chop your money. I used to think that was how easy it was. I used to think it was just a straightforward process. But until I realized that it's actually an iterative design process. And that is why I don't really charge so much, but I charge well. Because I know that this back and forth in UX design is very much. And I'll tell you how. I'll explain to you. So let me read what I have here first. I said, test your design, gather feedback, and make iterative improvements. Keep refining until you have a design that works perfectly for your users. Keep refining. So your first design is not usually the final design. Trust me. Your first design is not usually the final design. I work with a creative agency, and as at this morning, my boss still told me, Alpha, Femi, still check this website and tell us what we need to improve on. I will still go through and check the fonts, check the buttons, check, okay, is this aligned? Is this not aligned? Why is there shadow behind this one? Is this color? Is it color friendly? Will people really click on this when they see it? Will people know that there's a button here? So you check and you go back and adjust the design. And it's a move forward, move back process. That's how I describe UX design. It's not just one straight thing. You have to keep reiterating, like you have to keep doing it. You have to keep adjusting, keep making it better. For those of us that joined Facebook or Instagram many years ago when we first had access to them, you will tell me that today, what we have today is not what we had those years. There's a time when you can't even upload story. There's nothing called story. Let's use WhatsApp, for example. WhatsApp is updating every day. Now, I don't know if you know, but you can now edit your WhatsApp message. If you send a message and you make mistake, you can edit it. They are updating things every day. There was a time when on WhatsApp, I don't think there was story. There was a time when it's not like there was no video call. There was a time when you couldn't do group call on WhatsApp. They are improving. So they go on Play Store, they read about what people are saying, and they go back and adjust it and push it out to the public. And see what people are saying again, they go back again, adjust it. It's continuous. It is continuous. It's not just a one-off thing. So it's very important you put it in your mind when you're working as a UX designer that this is part of your job. You're going to be doing a lot of iterative things. You're going to be going back and forth until your product is perfect. And the truth is, it is never perfect too. Honestly, tell me any app you love, and I will tell you to go and check Play Store for errors people are talking about. People are always complaining about things. There's one or two things that are not going well with each app that you know. So get ready to keep refining until you have a design that is perfect for users. Next is actually data. I love this part as well. Data is actually supposed to guide your decision-making process as a UX designer. You need to work with data a lot. Now, the boss hailing app I told you we're working on with my team, we're using data to actually know what is important and what is not important. Because when you're dropping the first version of the app, there are a lot of things you need to put in place. Like let me use this one for example Now, Instagram dropped Threads, and I'm sure they are looking out for reviews. They intentionally dropped it the way it is. They know it's not perfect yet, but they want to see, okay, what are people saying? How many people said we need to improve this? How many people are complaining that hashtags are not working yet? How many people are complaining that our logo looks like this? How many people are complaining that, okay, we should work on the buttons, on the reaction buttons and all that? So you need to work on data. Like data would help you know percentage of people that have issues with what you're doing. It will help you analyze the behavior. It will help you know the insights and all of that, so that you can make proper design choice. I want to quickly move to the next one. So collaboration is the next thing. There's this saying that no man you're not an island. You need to collaborate. And sorry to say, I have an issue with full stack people. If you're a full stack person, I'm very sorry, so sorry. But the ones I know, they rarely collaborate. They don't want to. Full stack people are those that they do design, they do front end. In fact, some of them do back end, they do iOS, they do everything. They're not working with anybody. They're not rubbing mind with anybody. In fact, I've met a full stack person that said he also is a product manager. So he doesn't need a product manager when he's working. He knows everything and anything. The truth is, it's important you know that as a UX designer, you can't know it all and you can't do it all. No matter how good you are, people would give you reviews that would make you feel like, I need to improve sometimes. So you need to work with developers as a UX designer. You cannot do it on your own. Like when I was a graphic designer, it was a one-man job. I do my job and I send it to my clients and that's it. But I realized that in this UX design field, you're not on your own. You need to work with it. In fact, you have to be friends with your developer. because it gets some kind of animation where you go put for your design. Developer go vex for you. So you need to be friends. Talk about the animation. Talk about, okay, this button that is here, if we take it out, where should we put it? I think we should add it here. This animation that you put is too much. It's making the page lag. Can we change it? You guys you rub mind about things. So developers, you work with marketers, you work with stakeholders. Like only my company, I work with the marketer as well. The guy tells me, okay, Femi, this button here, I think the people are not seeing it on time. So let's put it at the top of the page. Since we want people to click on it, let's put it at the top of the page. So you work with all these people, you work with stakeholders, people that are important in the project and all that. In fact, you work with product managers, you work with everybody. So as a UX designer, it is not a one-man job. Trust me. This project I'm about to, there's a project I just had I had an interview with before this meeting. I am planning to call somebody that will help with the development and everything. So it's not a one-man job. I wanted to learn development, like front-end development, but I realized that even at that, I still need the expertise of people that are specialized there. People that are specially you, because at some point you will get confused. I've seen full stack people that need help with some things. Either their design is not good enough because they are perfect in front end or back end, or they have very good knowledge of design, but they have issues with front end. So you can't know it all. You need to be ready to collaborate. So collaborate across teams leads to better design and successful outcomes. Sometimes when I do designs, I don't know that I make error until I share them out to people to view. So when I put out designs on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and I get reviews, I don't even notice some of these things sometimes. I don't notice it. There's a time I did a banking app and I did a dark theme. I did it dark and somebody told me that, for banking apps, so this is not, I had the white, I had the light theme, but then I shared the dark one and people were like, no, this doesn't work for a fintech app. It doesn't work for a fintech app. You keep it simple, it's finance. So if I go see my 5, they look like saying a 2 because of gradients. I go vex. So it's good to keep it simple, keep it easy to see, easy to read and everything. So work closely with people so that you can rub minds and get better design at the end of the day. Next thing is learning journey. This one is very, very important. Very important. As a UX person, if you want to be successful in the field, you don't stop learning. Now, if I check some of us, if you check some, you judge yourself, go to your LinkedIn and check how many certificates have you had. Those of us are still learning. How many certificates have you had since you started learning? You need to ask yourself. So going to a boot camp or using Google UX certificate course or all those things, it doesn't really, doing one course doesn't really, it doesn't solve it all. It doesn't make you perfect yet. Now, I've been going through a lot of trainings lately and I got certificates for them actually. I have design for Web3 certificate. I have gamification in design. I have mobile UX design certificate. I have psychology in design. Psychology in design. There are some boot camps that they will not teach you all of these things. In fact, I've gone to like 2 boot camps. Nobody taught me psychology in design. So you need to understand your users. You don't just, aside design, you need to understand how they think. You need to understand, okay, so if I put this button here, how will my user think when they see it? Will they be prompted to click it and all that? I have certificate in UX writing. I learned a little bit of UX writing. I have certificate in UX research. Now, all this is not because I want to be a UX researcher. I want to be looking for a job. It's so that I can do my job well as a UX designer. Now, a UI designer will not worry about all these things because, of course, what I'm doing is I'm just designing and sending to the client and sending to the developer. But as a UX designer, I've learned that you need to grow. Stay updated with UX trends. Stay updated with trends. Now, there was Config recently, Figma conference, and they introduced a lot of new things that will be happening. I know, please, if you have not watched it, go and watch it. I think it's like an hour, though there are some other videos. What are the new updates on Figma? You can now go to dev mode. Let me show you an example. This right here is dev mode. You can switch to dev mode if you're done and get it ready for the developer. So there are lots of interesting things. In fact, AI is now in Figma. You can now just put a prompt. Now, if you want to design a dark theme of your design, like maybe you did a white, let me say, for example, let me use this map, for example. Maybe this map, for example, see coming up. So, for example, you design a mobile app with a white background or so, and you want to change it to black. Now, there's an update that lets you just go and you just select dark theme. You don't need to start changing all these colors manually or one by one. There are updates that you need to follow. So if you don't follow updates, you won't know what's up, honestly. So you need to stay updated with trends, know what is happening, know what to, like when I started UX design, I started with Adobe XD. My first mobile app design, I did it on XD. And over time, I realized that XD is not even trending. It's Figma that people are really using. It's Figma. So I moved to Figma, started watching videos on Figma, started doing crash courses on Figma, started watching crash courses, on Figma, started downloading materials on Figma. I was first self-taught before I started getting certificates, by the way. So in case you are still new in the field, you can continue what you're doing, continue learning on YouTube, continue. There are lots of content. I also drop content sometimes that would help people grow, but you can't just stop there. You need to actually go to bootcamps and all that to learn more, to get better. So learning journey is very important. So keep learning and applying new knowledge to enhance your design skills. Now, if you don't know what's happening, you'll just be designing on Figma. You know that there are other plans. There's Whimsical, there's Miro, there's a lot of platforms. There's Milanotes. There are lots of platforms we use as UX designers. But some people are just used to just Figma. And Figma has plugins, yes, it's good. But then there are lots of other platforms that make your work easier. Now, somebody said something, I think it was Joy, or somebody talked about how AI and all that. I would like to say something very shortly about that. If you're not very knowledgeable about AI, honestly speaking, you'll be scared that it's taking over our job. But as a UX designer, I've actually found out that AI will make my work easier. It won't take my job. It can never take our job. AI cannot do empathy now. AI cannot empathize. Let me show you an example. So for example, I have, let me see. Okay. So I have a question and I want to do an app, a dating app, and I want to come up with a questionnaire. Now, before AI came, what we usually do is we'll go out to just do our research, start writing a question one. What are the important questions we'll need to ask people for a dating app and all that? I want to do a questionnaire. But right now, you can do ChatGPT and ChatGPT come up with questions for a dating app UX project. Or let me put something. All right, so as you can see, in less than how many seconds, AI has generated questions that I need for my questionnaire as a UX designer. I don't need to start brainstorming. I don't need to start scratching my head. What question should I ask? Is this question important? Is it not important? So I have these questions here. Ask AI again. Come up with a user persona for my project. Can you see this? So before now, we used to scratch our brains, scratch our heads, scratch our skull to get some of these things. Because the truth is, not all of us really enjoy English. Personally, I don't really like writing like that. So if you ask me to write things like this, I will need to go through a lot of checking and checking before I submit it. But right now, I have something like this. I can look through this and edit it. They're giving me an example of, okay, Sarah Thompson, she's 28, she's marketing executive, she's single, she's heterosexual. Okay, no, that's not important for me. The goals and motives, challenges and frustrations, needs and expectations. The quotes, down to the quotes, AI will give it to you. So if I didn't put this prompt, AI doesn't know to come up with these things by itself. I'm sorry, I'm diving into that topic. It's supposed to be a topic for an event, so I would leave this topic very soon. But then I'm telling you how, if you read more on, if you develop yourself as a designer, you would discover that there are tools to make your work easier for you. There are tools. You want to give your client an invoice as a UX designer, you can use ChatGPT. Come up with an invoice for my client. I want to design this. This is the budget. This is how long I want to do the project. Come up with an invoice. So you need to actually learn these things. If I know some of us, if I didn't share this, some of us didn't know we could do things like that. We are still doing the old way of maybe coming up with content, coming up with case study content and all that. Yeah, it's good. But the truth is AI is making the work easier, though you need to actually edit what it gives you sometimes. It doesn't give you accurate information, but then it just makes it easier for you. So stay updated with your UX trends and best practices. Keep learning and applying new knowledge to enhance your design. See, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Keep learning Keep learning. Any small opportunity you get, try to learn. Try to learn. And let me move quickly. Next one is your user feedback. Feedback is very important. Very, very important. And I tell my clients most of the time that expect me to be coming back to you every time for feedback. Though most times some users will tell you we don't want to interview people for a project. It's a project we are still, it's an NDA. Like, it will make you sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, that you won't tell people about their project, you won't share it with anybody. But then you need to get feedback. As you're doing the work, you need to get feedback. So because you can't just design and assume that it is fine. People need to tell you, okay, please, Oga, this button, this cancel button is close to delete. This save button and delete button are close. I wanted to press save, I mistakenly pressed delete. You need to hear people's feedback about your app. You need to hear people's feedback. Like I told you, the dating app I did for teenagers, I thought it was good. I thought it was perfect. But when I gave it to a real teenager, a real life teenager to go through it, I realized that there were a lot of things that teenagers will not understand in a dating app. So I made it a little bit friendly and fun for them. So for me, I thought it was about the color. Just put color, we go attract teenagers and all that and move on. But then it was more than just the colors. You need to hear from a real teenager. How is this app usage to you? I expected GTB after designing the app. I don't know if they did it. Go out, like, even if it's within the office, let people go through this app, tell you what they think. Give you their feedback. It's very important. It is very, very important. Now, I said something here. I said their input, will help you create designs that meet their needs effectively. I've been in a situation whereby I did a design and I had to start all over again because there was no feedback in the middle of the project. I thought I was doing, this color is now, they go like this blue, this font is this is this, let me add this here, when I gave it to the client told me, Femi, I wanted something very simple, a plain colored design, like black and white is what I wanted for this design. So if I carry the client all through the process, maybe all through the project and all that, maybe in the middle, give him this, let him give me feedback, I wouldn't have done the entire design. I would have done maybe the first screen and get a feedback before moving to the next screen, get a feedback. As I said, the design process from the first stage to the next stage, carry them along. You need the feedback. You need the feedback. All right. So finally, this is how the flow for UX design processes are, sorry. I wish I could explain it, but then I don't know if I have that time. But this is how it is. You move from research to wireframing to mock-up to prototype to development to test and your feedback. Did you notice that it's not just a straight line? It is moving like this, and you can come back at any point. As you're moving forward, you can come back. At this stage now, a client can tell you that, oh, but this wireframe you did is not good enough, or this mock-up you did is not good enough. You have to go back to your wireframe to adjust it. They tell you, the developer will tell you, oh boy, this animation we put for here too much, this button we put for here, people are not really enjoying and all that. You have to go back to your prototyping again. You have to go back to the stage before or the process before. So it's not just a one-off, a one stage. So you notice that at the end of the whole thing, you still come back to the beginning. There were some guys I worked with, they're working on a logistic app. The app was launched, and honestly speaking, you would think that's the end of the project. But they still go back every week to get reviews. Like I told you, Play Store, go back, get review. Once you get your review, go back, do your research, do your whatever, find out if it's okay or if it's not good, then adjust it again. Then we go back again. We start again. So it's not a one-off, let's move on kind of thing. It's not a, okay, I'm doing the design. By the time I'm done, I'll go flex my money. No. UX design, you have to do all of these things, and you have to go back sometimes, 2 steps back or 1 step backward sometimes. Sometimes the developer will take you back to this stage, will take you back to your wireframe. It won't tell you go back to the program. It will tell you go back to your wireframe. That thing, adjust it, that hi-fi, then make it into a mock-up, and I want to see what it looks like. If you work with companies that are not just small, honestly speaking, you will go through all of these things without skipping a step. All of this stage, they want you to start with research first. Then you can actually start ideating, drop your wireframes, then move to mock-up and all that. So this is a summary of everything. I have it detailed here. In case I can't speak about it, it's on my YouTube channel as well. So you go through all of these processes in big companies. They don't want to skip any process. If you make a mistake in one step, you go back to the step before. It's like you're repeating class. That's why you need feedback on every stage. You can't just start and end and say, I don't finish the project. Who did you interview? Nobody. You must talk to your users in between, your stakeholders. They must be involved in the entire process so that you don't have to scrap everything and start all over again. Then finally, I have a small illustration here. So usually we think, for those of us that are just coming into UX, and you will think this is what UX is all about. You plan, you execute, and you succeed. You see how simple it looks? But the truth is, this is what it is. It is what it is. There are times that I forgot to put that. The people, they will even owe you money. Your clients will pay you the first half and will take the design and will not give you review or feedback, and you'll be needing money and they will not get back to you. So it's not as easy as this first expectation. It is like this: you plan. Execution sometimes itself will be broken, like it will not even happen as you're thinking. I've met with developers that I designed something and the developer designed something differently. Like he couldn't achieve some of the designs I did. So what he did, he just did something he knows how to do. So even the execution might sometimes now come out. Sometimes you will fail. It is okay. Sometimes you will cry. Sometimes you will cry. Sometimes network will fall your hands. You are in a meeting with the client trying to explain something. Especially client I know in Nigeria. If they're in Nigeria, you can tell them, oh boy, say network, MTN network this morning get problem and all that. But you can't tell that to a UK client. I don't pay you, Oga. I've paid you for this job. So why is your network glitchy? So sometimes you'll cry. Sometimes you'll be burnt out. You'll be tired. Now, before now, I used to think UX design is just come up with a design in your head. As a graphic designer, I did that a lot. I didn't even know there were platforms you can go for inspiration. So what I do, I just maybe get a piece of paper, drop my mock-up and start trying to design. And it is stressful. It's very stressful. Sometimes it takes me 2 days. Back then, it took me 2 days to actually come up with one design. But I realized that you can actually go online, search for inspiration. There's Award, there's Dribble, there's Pinterest, there's 99 Designs, there's Behance. There's a lot of places where you can get inspiration from. Just make sure you're not copying somebody's design, but just get inspiration. You want to design a fintech app, go online, check fintech app. How do they design these things? You want to design an NFT mobile app, go and check online. What fonts will make sense for a mobile app? Someone designed a banking app recently, and the person was using a calligraphy sort of font, like you know what calligraphy is, all those script fonts. I was like, this is not a wedding invitation, Oga. It's a banking app. There's some fonts that you don't use, no matter how beautiful they look. You don't use them. So sometimes you get tired, you get burnt out because you're stressed out. Sometimes you need to try again. I see this as iterative, like the process where you go back again and start all over again. No matter how good you are, people will turn down your design sometimes. And sometimes it's imposter syndrome. You'll be tired, you'll be discouraged, but try again. Keep trying. Like I said here, you will fail here, you will fail again. I know they swear for people, but just know, get ready for it. There are times people you have done the best design that anybody will see, but your client will see it and they will hiss. I tell you to start again. Even the success is broken here. So the success says sometimes they don't go pay you balance. So they will tell you because of you wasted. I have a friend that said because of the time it took to get the job done, the client took out $100 from the entire money they were trying to pay him. They didn't pay him the full money. They didn't pay him the full money. I know this kind of thing. We as freelancers, most of the times, before they pay you, don't they calculate how you go spend the money. Oh, but when the client pays me $600 or $700, I'll go shut down Chicken Republic. I'll buy chicken, one bucket of chicken. When I do that, I'll go and change my phone. iPhone 13, iPhone 14. You don't calculate how you go use the money, only for you to realize that the client is not planning to pay you the full money. Then finally, you will have to continue. You don't give up. So one thing I realized in UX design is you can't be looking back. And I will share this, is not part of this, what I put here, but then always put out your jobs out there. Make noise. I used to tell people, make noise. When I say make noise, I'm not saying noise is noise. Like post everything. Sometimes we always wait for the perfect design. I want to post this design. I'm still working on my portfolio. By the time I'm done, they go take LinkedIn, they go collect. They don't collect, because there are people actually putting out their jobs. They're constantly putting out things. So it's even interesting you put out even your worst jobs, because you're showing people your growth. You're showing people your journey. You are growing. And there's somebody we started this whole journey together, and I'm so happy because she is making money from Upwork. Me, I'm not an Upwork or Fiverr person. I get my jobs from Twitter, from LinkedIn. People reach out to me in my DM and they tell me, we want to work with you, want to design this website. These are our budgets. But she's making crazy money. Like for the past 3 months or 2 months, she has made about $600, $700. And she's a student, still in the university. So imagine a student, you're making $700. In Naira, you know that's good money for a student to be making. Before I joined the UX, I used to think, well, Yahoo boys, you know how we used to think everybody that has fine car, that has this, the Yahoo boy. Honestly speaking, it was the same way. I used to think that. When I started, I realized that there is money, especially when you know what you're doing it well. There's money. Follow trends. Now, Web3 is the future. In fact, it's not the future, it's here. Are you learning about Web3? Do you even know what Web3 is? Some of us are still stick to, okay, Web2. I'm still learning how to design Facebook. Yeah, it's good. But then there's something called Web3, and that is the future. That's where we are going to. That's where this whole thing is going to. There was time I took like 2 weeks. I took time off social media to go and learn Web3, like read about Web3, watch videos about Web3. What is this Web3 everybody's talking about? How can I get involved? So ask yourself, how am I need to develop. So post your work, which is very important, like I said. Get reviews, get feedback, and try to make friends as well. Like try to connect with people, connect with the right people, because it has helped me too. I've gotten lots of jobs from people that recommended me to other people. Somebody will tell me, I got your number from this person. I don't even know the person. But try to just make friends with people. Right now, I have a job and I need a developer. I have people I've made friends with that I will reach out to. On their own, they will make cool cash. They didn't put out, I'm looking for a job, but because I know someone who needs a developer after I'm done with the design, I will reach out to them. Post your work and be consistent, please. Be consistent. Don't just post today and oh boy, now when I get time and all that. Like this is if you take this serious, I want you to stop seeing it as a hobby or as a, if you see your hobby for now, then you don't know what you have. You don't know what you have. The best of people that are making money on Upwork and Fiverr don't even have the best of designs. Go and check. Some people have made $10,000 since they started using Upwork. Some people have made $400,000 since they started using Upwork and Fiverr. Check their designs. They are not as good as your own. But they are posting. That's the difference. They post their work. They are proud of their work. They are ready to take feedback. They're ready to take criticism. Honestly, you should be ready for all these things, like all of these things. Be ready for them. Actually, whether during your process of becoming a designer, freelance designer, your growth, your project, get ready for all of these things. It's not going to be sweet. It's not going to be smooth. But trust me, to be worthwhile. Like you would enjoy the process. You won't regret it. Thank you very much. That is where about.
All right. So I really can't see anything on my screen. I asked that I post. I don't know. So yes, I was kicked out. Okay, I see some persons are already asking their questions. So please let's keep our questions, having a panel of discussion with speakers so that we can ask all the questions to ask. So I got a few things, right? I was jotting down some things, and the point that really got me was when you mentioned always use that art design. Don't make it design because you it's fine for you, it's beautiful for you. Your users are like, see, users don't understand what they are doing. So always put your users first. And then he mentioned little different strategies like be user-centric, analyze your market and competitors, find unique ways to stand out and make your design shine. Put yourself out. I know every day, I think every new year, I always have this resolution that I'm going to put myself out this year. And then 2 weeks into the year, 2 weeks into the month, I'm already on my bed or behind my PC, still saying I'm going to put myself out. So I think at this point, we shouldn't say we are going to or want to any longer. We should actually start putting ourselves out there. It never gets better until you're actually out there. You're only going to live on that procrastination. I will do it, but you're not doing it. So put yourself out. Your work doesn't have to be so professional, so beautiful and all. Put it out there. There's a success story part to it, right? You can always put everything and talk about the story. So well done, Mr. Femi. I mean, I really enjoyed the session. I was a bit upset that I got out of it, but I'm back again and I took notes of a lot of things. I've also learned a whole lot, and I'm very sure a lot of questions I'm seeing some hands up, and I just want us to bring our questions. We're having a panel session with our speakers, and we can ask all our questions there. So for now, let's just sit tight as we bring up the second speaker. I will call on Sophia to share the second speaker, and we'll move on from there. So please don't go anywhere. If you heard me earlier, I mentioned that I have something for all of you here, and I'm sure you're not miss it. So please stay as we bring up the second speaker. So second speaker.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Femi, for that wonderful presentation and nice tips. Thank you very much for that. So our next speaker is Miss Abidemi Azan, a product designer from Bincom Dev Center. You're welcome. You can have your call.
Wow. Good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Confirm if you can hear me. Good afternoon. I mean, I'm really wowed. Like, Mr. Femi, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Like, I'm speechless at this point because it's as if you have covered everything. I'm just here. I don't know what to say, but I trust that even as I open my mouth, I'll have the right words to speak. But honestly, it was a wonderful presentation. And thank you so much, sir, for that. Thank you so much. So let me just share my screen. Can we all see my screen? Please confirm. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah, yes, you can see your screen.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So good afternoon once again. My name is Abidemi and I'm a product designer at Bincom Dev Center. So like Mr. Femi has already, I say water the floor. We'll be talking about designing delightful user experiences. So basically the strategies for designing a good product are what we'll be talking about today. So the first topic or the first point to be deliberating on much is understanding user experience. Okay, so what is user experience? User experience is basically how a user interacts with a product and experiences a product. So I would like to say this, that every one of us, we all are users. Like we are users at every point. You are using a phone, you are a user. You are using a phone, you are a user. You are wearing a clothes, you are a user. Like everything you do, everything you use, you are a user. So every one of us, we are actually users. So the experience we get from using a particular product is what we call user experience. So what are the importance of UX design? UX design actually plays a role in creating meaningful and beautiful products for users. And like Mr. Femi has already mentioned, like for every good product out there, UX is very important, and UX is the user experience part. So UX design helps us in creating meaningful products for these users. Okay, what product do they need? What kind of experience did they seem to want to get from this product? What is their pain point? What is their frustration? What is their goal? Do they even need this product in the first place? Do they need this app in the first place? So these are the basic importance of UX. So I'll be talking more on them. So the first point is user satisfaction. When a UX, like when you have done all you are supposed to do, like you have done your assignment very well, and the first importance is that a good UX creates good user satisfaction. That is in the sense that during your UX research process and all of that, you have already found out what the users need. You already know what they aim to get from that product. So you tailor your design in that aspect so as to create user satisfaction. And when a user is actually satisfied with your product, just know that people will by themselves recommend your product to people around them. And of course, there will be high level of engagement on the product. Then second thing is there will be increased visibility. When you have done your UX perfectly, just know that the product that will come out will be very usable. When I say usable, I mean that it is functional and everything is working perfectly well. All the fonts are working well. This particular page is good. Everything is working possibly well. So definitely, once there's usability, once UX design is well, there will be increased usability. And of course, there will be much audience that will be driven towards your product. And the third one is user empathy. One of the main goals of UX design is that they empathize with users. When conducting a research, the main essence of the research is so that you can understand what your users are going through. What is this thing they are always facing? What is this problem that they are always facing? When they use this app, how do they feel? What is that thing that is always frustrating them? So a UX will help you tailor your design in that part so as to address the solution that users are facing. And of course, this can be addressed well. Like I mentioned earlier, there will be increased engagement on your product. People will recommend your product just by themselves, even without you telling them, without you advertising your product. People will by themselves recommend your product to other people. Now, the next one is business success. Okay, so I would like to actually paint a scenario here. I remember before we had all these fintech app, all these online banks like OPay and the rest. We were like our normal banks, the First Bank and the rest. So I remember then that every weekend, it even still happens till now, like every weekend, there's always one problem or the other with the bank app. Either the bank app is not going well, either there's network issue. And another thing was that the way they bank charges was something people also complain about. The way they just charge you, the way they just deduct money from your bank account, you send any little money, the way they will deduct you. So one thing I believe that OPay and the rest they did was that they actually, if they didn't do direct research, they actually did research, yes, even if it is not a physical one, they actually did research so that they can tailor their design in order to solve this problem. And we see that today, all these banks, you get an ATM card of OPay. They don't charge you, they don't deduct monthly charges. You want to send money, the money they charge is actually very, very low. At times, they don't even charge at all. Whereas our own local banks, we see the amount of money they charge and all of that. So when you do your UX design very well, it will lead to business success. Let me also paint this scenario. There was a time I was trying to open an account for my business, and then I opened GT account. So the first message I got from GT, like after getting was that this is your account balance. So they had to tell me my account balance, and what I saw there was my account balance is minus 9,000 and so kobo. An account I've never started using that. I don't even have any money inside. You're already giving me a debit alert of minus 9,000 something. And at that point, I was really like, I don't understand. I have not started using this. You're already giving me 9,000 minus 9,000 debit alert. I said, oh, that means I'm not going to use this business account. So I opened the account last year. Until now, like they still send me debit alert every month. The account I've never used. So now on the account, I have over like 12,000 debit minus 12,000. So without even encouraging me to even use the app, the answer is no. So when you do your user research very well, it leads to a good business. It leads to business success, makes your business or your product successful. Then the next importance of UX design is reduce cost. When you do your UX, your research very well, I tell you there are some unnecessary costs that will be avoided. Let's say as you are designing, like you said, as you are designing, you are getting feedback from your stakeholders, from your users, you are doing usability testing. There are some buttons that are not functioning well. They would have actually figured out all this before it is being developed. So doing all of this at every stage, doing your UX very well at every stage will actually prevent you from spending unnecessary money, so you can reduce costs. Imagine launching a product and then like Mr. Femi mentioned, the dating app design. Imagine that he didn't even give it to a teenager to test, and then it just launched it out there. And you now discover that people are not even using this app. What is the problem? You now start getting feedback. The feedback you're supposed to have gotten from the initial stage, you now start getting it after you have spent money, you have already launched the product. So that means that you have to go back and pay for designers again, pay for developer all over again. So doing your UX properly at every stage will actually avoid all of these things. Then the next one is enhanced accessibility. When your UX is right, you will know that you are the app you are designing should be accessible to everyone. Like you mentioned also, like the app you are designing, is it just for able-bodied? People that cannot see, can they use this app? People that cannot hear well, can they use this app? People that have color blindness, can they really use this app? Is it really something they can use without the help of somebody? So when you tailor your UX design very well, it will also help enhance accessibility. And once you are able to design an app or a product that is accessible to everyone, just know that there will be much engagement on the product. And of course, it's going to lead to business success also. Then the last point I'm talking about is iterative improvement. That is the constant improving of the product. So like you mentioned, so I'm so sorry I'm saying like you mentioned, but I'll be referring to most things that I said because they have said them already. So iterative improvement, like at every point, that is one thing about UX. UX doesn't stop at the point that you hand over to developers. Even when the product has been launched, you continue your UX. So this UX that you continue, it actually helps to improve your product periodically every time. And one example I always like to give is WhatsApp. I remember when WhatsApp started, I know the features they have now, see what they're having, and they do this periodically. And one of the ways they do this is by going to, when you want to download an app, you go to Play Store, you read people's reviews. So these reviews are what these people use. They filter it, they say, okay, what can we do next? What can we add to this app next? So these are the things they do in order to improve their product. So as a UX designer, once your UX is right, and once it is something you don't stop at the point that your product is being locked, you continue. So there will be iterative improvement. So element of a great user experience: useful, learnable, memorable, effective, efficient, desirable, and delightful. So let me just speak a bit on them here. So the first thing is useful. Okay, this app that you want to do as a UX designer that you have, this app that I want to do, okay, is it really something that people need? Is something that you need to consider. Is it really something that people need? Okay, if I design this app, is it something that people will actually, will it generate traffic? Okay, so let me cite this example. For me, that is where I see it. I get notifications almost every time that I should download MTN app. I should download, because I use MTN and 9 mobile. I should download MTN app. I should download 9 mobile app. And for me, I'm like, why do I need to download it? Because I don't need it. For me, it is not useful. Anything I want to do, I can always dial their code through my normal dialing. I don't have to download the app. For me, it takes space on my phone, so I don't need it. So for me, that app is not useful. It might be useful to other people, but for me, it is not useful. So when you want to design an app, just know, ask this question: is it really something people need? Is it really something that, okay, if it goes to the market, will people really download? Will it really what's it called? Will there be great engagement on the solution I'm about to put out there? Then second thing you need to consider that is an element of a great user experience is learnable. Okay, this particular product or solution that I'm trying to put out there, is this something that people can figure out how to use it by themselves? Hope it's not something that, okay, I have to start looking for someone to help me navigate around the product. I don't even understand the English you are using. You don't even like, it's not something that people can really understand. You have to start looking for dictionary that, okay, what is the meaning of this particular word that is being written here? So a great user experience, one of the elements is that it's learnable. People can really figure it out by themselves. They don't need the help of any other person. They can figure it out. It is simple. Everything is in its simplest form. The next one is memorable. Okay, this particular product, so after using it today, let's say I don't go back to it after like 2 weeks. When I take it up again, is this something that I can easily remember how I used it the first time? Hope it's not something that I have to start learning again. When your product is simple, your user experience is simple, this is one of the key features that is actually very important. And the next one is effective. This particular app doesn't really get the job done. So I'll also be painting a scenario here. There was a time I needed to get something like NIN stuff. So I checked online, I thought I needed to download the app in order for me to get it. So I downloaded the app. I mean, the app, I checked the megabyte. It was a long one, very large. And I was like, but this app is too large. But still, because I needed it, I had to download it. So after downloading, taking a lot of megabyte space on my phone and time to download. And then I registered, I started using the app, and I discovered that the main essence for me downloading the app could not be done. Why? I was really frustrated. There was one button I was pressing there, it was just loading for a long period of time. And then I was just like, this app for me, it does not make sense. And look at this picture here, this man here, it's actually from a movie I got, he downloaded a game, and then the game does not make sense. I mean, it can really be frustrating. So for me, the app it did not make sense. And I was just so frustrated. And eventually I had to just uninstall the app. So for me, the app was not effective. What I needed it to do, I couldn't get it. So the next point I'll be talking about is efficient. Okay, this solution I'm putting out there, I mean, is it really efficient? Can people really get what they want to do? Can they get it done in a reasonable amount of time? Hope it won't take too long. Like the app I said, I mean, I pressed the button and it was just rolling for minutes. I just got frustrated and I dropped it. So for me, it was not efficient. So element of a great user experience is that the product is efficient. The next one is desirable. Do people really want this thing I'm doing? Is it really something people desire? I hope I'm not just designing based on what I feel that I need. Are users really am I really user-centric in designing this? So you have to consider that. And then the next one is delightful. Okay, this product, so is it really enjoyable? Is it fun? Just look at this product by my right hand here. When you get this product, imagine that you get this product for the first time, and then you notice the button where it's been written, stop looking at my button. I mean, the first thing is that you smile. Why? Because it's funny. I mean, so let's say once you are done with the drink, and then maybe you go into the supermarket or grocery to get another set of things for yourself. Even if you don't want to buy this juice, even if you don't want to buy it, just stumbling on it again at the grocery will make you buy it. And the reason is because the first time you bought it, I mean, for you, something that could put a smile on your face. Just remembering what is written underneath the logo will actually want to make you buy it again. And this one is like the bonus round, and I've already mentioned it before, is accessibility. Like this product you are designing, is it accessible for everybody? I'm color blinded. Will I be able to use this app? Are the fonts not too small? Are the buttons not too tiny? Is everything okay? Someone that cannot see, the person is someone that cannot talk, and the person is so. Considering all of these things will actually increase engagement on your product, and which will eventually make your business a successful one. So, I mean, and one thing I want to say is that user experience is not limited to just mobile app, it's not limited to just digital products. You can also consider user experience in whatever business you are doing. Like you want to, okay, alongside being a product designer, I'm also a baker. Like before I started, I remember how I did my market research and all of those things. So all of these things are actually important. You can also incorporate it and going beyond digital products. For every business on this earth that really wants to succeed, conducting your user research is very, very important. So the second thing I'll be talking about is user research and analysis. So conducting user research is basically how that you get to know what the problem people are facing, the motivation, the pain points, the frustration, the goal, what they need, what they don't need, and then tailoring your design into that to fit into all of these things that you have discovered. And there are several methods that you can actually achieve this. There are several methods out there. Okay, let me just read through this. It says user research is the process of discovering the behaviors, motivations, and needs of your customers through observation, task analysis, and other types of feedback. It can involve working directly with members of your target audience through UX testing sessions, remote sessions, observation using digital tools, survey to collect user feedback, and many more UX research methods and techniques. Simply put, UX research is critical because it keeps you from wasting time and money and effort designing the wrong product or solution. It's valuable for all areas of your business and yields clear benefits for your products, your users, and your bottom line. So definitely, any product, any business, like I mentioned earlier, any business anybody is about to do, UX is very important. It's not only limited to digital products, any business at all. Once you do your UX properly, I mean, just trust me, the business is going to be a success. So these are the processes involved in UX research. The first one is the objective. Know your objective. Why do you really want to do this thing that you want to do? The next one is the hypothesis. What is your assumption? Your assumption is that people with the blind, people with impaired vision, okay, they cannot use this particular app. So I'm trying to build an app that would always help them to read text aloud, help them to do some things on a particular product. So you know what your assumption is. Then the next one is the method. What method are you using? Okay, are you using survey? Are you going by interview? Whichever method you are using, just to know. Then the next one is conduct. After knowing your method, you start to conduct your UX research. And the last one is synthesis. You organize and analyze your results. So these are the various methods. The naturalistic observation. Okay, like he mentioned, Mr. Femi mentioned, for every product out there is always a product that there's always an existing product. Like there's nothing new, there's nothing you are doing that is new. People have done products like that. Thousands of products are out there that are doing what you want to do. So it's best for you to, okay, this product, so you already know your competitors, you know what they are doing. Watch people, yes, do your research. People that are using this app, what are their pain points? You can even go to Play Store. For me, that's a very good place. You go to Play Store, you see different feedback. This app that I'm about to download, see people's feedback, see what people are commenting. And you can also work on that. Yes, and I am input it into your design to make it better. So the first method is naturalistic observation, and this can be done by just observing people, users from afar, using a particular product, their reactions, how they feel, is it really interesting to them, is it enjoyable, are they complaining, are they grumbling, are they happy, are they satisfied? You just watch the user from afar. Then the second one is survey. Survey is open-ended question, like asking people questions that how do you see this, how do you perceive this app? You want to complete a particular process. How do you go about it? Ask people questions. That is survey. And the next one is focus group. Focus group is just like a group of persons from 4 or 5 people. Then there'll be a moderator. You can just throw questions and people start talking about it. So you watch the way people are interacting, you watch their reactions, and you get your feedback from it. Then the last one is interview. Okay, interview is actually one-on-one. You go to somebody. I feel this is one of the best methods because it is just you and the person. So the person will be very free with you, be able to talk, be able to tell you how he or she feels about the app. So whichever method that is best is the one that you can use. So I actually put it here that, okay, for naturalistic observations, if you don't really have to move close to the person to do that research, so it has least interaction as well as survey. But for focus group and interview, I mean, they involve a lot of interaction because you get to talk with your users, you get to talk, you get to rub mind with them. So it involves interaction. So after you have done your research, the next thing is to analyze user behavior and their needs. I mean, you can actually, there are lots of apps that you can use to do this. You can use FeedJam, you can even use like normal sticky notes, all these papers, write user feedback, write it down, start teaming. Okay, 5 persons are saying this, they are saying the same thing, 3 persons are saying that, team everything together. Then from there, you can gather your users' needs. And one thing I also want to mention to us is that there are times that user will say that we need this thing, whereas when you do your research, you discover that what they need is different from that. So that is actually where explicit and implicit needs come in. Explicit is what they are saying, while implicit is what you are getting from the research that you have actually done. So when you conduct your research, you get all of these things. Let me just point to this example so that we can understand implicit and explicit better. For example, now I actually need, okay, let me use this word. Okay, let's say I need a car, right? No, let's say yes, it's a car I need, but I feel that my own self, I'm feeling that, okay, if I get money, I'll be able to get a car, you get. But someone that knows me very well will say, no, let me say like my father, he will be like, no, I'm not going to give you the money because if I give her money, something else can come in and to take the money. So instead of that, I'd rather give you a car. Although you are saying that it is money you want, but deep down, when because the person has already known you, the person will say that this is what this person needs. She's only saying what she wants, whereas what she needs is her. So that is the difference between implicit and explicit. Users can be saying this is what they want, whereas when you conduct your research, you think everything, your result and all of that, you get to know that what they actually need is different from what they are saying they want. So this can be gotten through research. Then the next one is to create your user persona. Personas are usually the fictional representation of your end users. After you have conducted your research, from your teaming and all of that, you get to know that, okay, well, this is the pain point people are going through, this is their need, this is all of that. So you create your personas. So these are actually examples of personas. You can generate personas online. The next thing is to determine your information architecture. Information architecture is basically how your product is going to look like. Okay, this is going to be my landing page. This is going to be a mono button. This is going to be a mini icon here. This is going to be a lead. This is going to be big. It's just the features, how the features are going to be arranged, which page comes first, which page comes in the middle, which page comes second. So basically that is information architecture. And this can be gotten again from the research. So after your information architecture, you move on to creating user flows. User flow is basically the various steps a user takes in completing a particular task. Let's say, for example, now Zoom, like I want to use Zoom. What do I need to do? After downloading the Zoom app, the next thing, once you open it, the interface you see sign up or login. If you're a user, you know you're supposed to sign in. So that sign in, let's say, is this entry point. Once you sign in, you see a welcome screen. Is this rectangular box from your welcome screen? What do you want to do? Do you want to join a meeting, or you want to sign up for a meeting, or you want to schedule a meeting? So you select the task you want. After selecting the task, you move on to the next page like that. So it is user flow that explains how a user goes about completing a particular task on a product. And it's something that you can also get online. The rectangular box, it means screen, it stands for screen. Once you see rectangular box, it shows display or screen. Then the diagonal box, diagonal shape, it depicts decision. Let's say there's a particular place you're supposed to select yes or no. That is, you represent that with a decision, a diagonal shape. Then action is the circle. So that is user flow. And the next thing is to do your wireframe. Wireframe are basically the sketch of the end product. Okay, and there are different kind of wireframe: low fidelity, high fidelity. It depends on the one. You can even do a wireframe on the paper. You can do it on the paper. You can do it on screen. It depends on what you want to do. So wireframe is just like the sketch of the end product, so that you can know which feature is here, which feature is supposed to be dominant, which one is supposed to be a small icon, which one is supposed to be a CTA, and all of those things. So the next one, after conducting your research, you have gotten to the place of wireframe. The next thing is to start designing your UI. So UI is basically how a product looks, how it feels, the color, the shadow, the style, the font, like everything, the look of any solution. That is user interface. A website, an app, how it looks, that is UI. So from what I wrote, I said UI refers to the aesthetic design of a product user interface. So how a product looks, how you feel it, and all of that. So that is the meaning of UI. And the key principles of UI, I don't think I'll be saying too much of that, but they are basically, although there are other ones, but these are the basic ones I will just touch on. Principle of proximity, similarity, continuity, and connectedness. So principle of proximity says that when objects are close together, you tend to feel that they belong to the same group. So principle of similarity also states that when objects look alike, you also tend to group them together, irrespective of their distance. Principle of continuity shows that objects are connected. Like there's always a continuity in objects, just like a video that you are watching. I mean, it's not just a video, like series of pictures actually came together just to form a video. So that's what principle of continuity, like there's always a continuity. One thing is linking to the other, and that takes us to connectedness. I mean, it says that objects are always connected, irrespective of how broken or scattered they might look, they are always connected. Then principle of closure, I mean, it shows that objects, when it makes you see objects, even though they are different, smaller bits, it makes you see objects as one. For example, now this picture of alphabet that you are seeing, you are just seeing that it's an alphabet, but there are actually some errors there. There are some letters that are missing, and you will not notice because of the principle of closure. So it's actually psychological. It says that when we see things, when human beings see things, it just makes them feel that, okay, it is one object. So that is principle of closure. So I'll move on to responsive UI design. Responsive UI design is basically designing a product, a solution, a product, an app that is responsive. When I say responsive, I mean that it can fit into every, for example, now you design for a desktop. That desktop you are designing, okay, you want to design a mobile video. Do you have to start designing a mobile from scratch? Or there's a way you design your app that can make it responsive, fit into every other screen. And this can be done by the use of the features of Figma. You can use auto layout, you can use constraints, and the rest of them like that. Then we move on to prototype. Prototype is just an early sample of a product that's supposed to be launched eventually. Just early sample, how the product is going to be functional, how this particular button will lead to this particular button. So these are actually pictures that are showing us what a prototype looks like. So this is the last point I will be talking about. So I actually want it to be a discussion session. I don't know how possible that will be. I want us to talk in this aspect. So can you hear me? Joy,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. See.
Is it possible they unmute? Raise the hand or mute if they want to talk.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So we'll be discussing. It's going to be a discussion session. So I want us to just talk about all these things we are saying on the screen. So the first picture here is, okay, let me ask, I mean, what does it look like to you? This first picture here. For me, I can see Hollandia yogurt. It's looking like Hollandia yogurt. I'm seeing coconut, I'm seeing what's the other thing? The orange. For me, it's looking like Hollandia yogurt. Who else is seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I the only one seeing this? Who wants to talk?
It's a yogurt.
It's looking like a yogurt. Whereas when you look closely, I mean, it's a soap. So it is totally a bad design. I mean, how do you want to, I mean, how on earth do you want to design a soap? And then you'll be using this kind of design. It is even dangerous. And when I first stumbled on this on Twitter, I was like, this person is supposed to be food. How do you design a product like this? You are designing a liquid soap. People that cannot read will just buy this here and go piss down their throat. Or small little children that don't even know what is left and what is right, they'll just buy this thing and go piss down into their throat. So this is actually a bad design. It's a bad design. Then the second product, who wants to talk? Is it a good or bad design?
Good. It's a good design.
How is it good, sir?
Well, I feel you can use the product from top to bottom without having to maybe stress yourself during the usage.
Serious. Well, okay. And one thing I noticed, right, and one thing I used to say is that pain points pain points can be person peculiar at times, but there are some pain points that are general. For me, this product is a bad design.
It's bad.
And the reason is because the product inside the product inside is very thick. It's not something that once you turn it will come out. No, it's very thick. And it's having a tiny. Exactly, and you can't press it in bottle. So that means you have to start eating it on something. And by eating it, it will start splashing. And the color of this product, once it falls on white or any other color, just know that that's how it's going to be for life. So for me, it is a bad design. It's a bad. And Mr. Femi actually talked about this earlier. He said they're already working on it. Honestly, I've not seen the new one, but this is what I have always seen. So for me, it's a bad design. So the next one is this password creation interface. Is it a good or a bad design? Who wants to talk? Is it a good or a bad design? Okay, let me just talk so we don't waste much of our time. For me, it is a bad design. Why? Because I want to create a password. How on earth do you expect me to read all of this things from here to toe? I mean, it is too long. It is too long. That is one of the things UX does. I mean, it makes your design come out in the simplest form. There are several ways. When you look at Google password reminder or creation, I mean, it is very simple. The words are not too much, and it is very easy. So this is way too much. The words are too much. So it is a bad design. And the next one is this mouse. How on earth am I supposed to use this mouse and work at the same time? My mouse, the battery is down. I want to charge it and I want to work. How am I supposed to do this when the charging port is underneath? So it's not going to be easy. So definitely it's a bad design. For me as a user, it is a pain point. It's something that is frustrating. So it is a bad design. The next one is this WhatsApp deleted feature. I have deleted a message and I don't want someone to see the person to see the message, and this person is still getting notification that I have deleted this message. That means that the person will always come back and say, what did you delete? And I don't want the person to know I sent a message in the first place. So definitely the person will still know. So it is a bad design. The main purpose is that I want to delete a message. So it is not achieved. So it is a bad design. In as much as we know that WhatsApp is a very good product, they still have this that needs to be worked on. WhatsApp is a good product. They're always updating, they're always adding new features and all of that. And WhatsApp is one product that I know that they take reviews. If you go to Google Play Store and you want to download all the reviews there, when you check it, you will know that they are really working on it, because the next feature you see that WhatsApp will bring will be from one of all those all those reviews that people are dropping. But this aspect is something that they have not worked on. So it's definitely a bad design. So this next one is a toilet. Okay, Sophia, you want to talk? Is it a good design or a bad design?
It's for husband and wife.
Oh my God. So I saw this caption, like that you said, a small table. Just put a small table, then you have a mixture of.
Okay, about the WhatsApp stuff. But I should see delete for everyone. What about that delete for everyone? Is it not to delete for everybody and they will not see what it is there?
Even if you delete for everyone, this notification will still be there. That you deleted. It still remain there. So they will still see it. It's a bad design. So this toilet, I don't know how on earth they thought about this, but maybe it's a conference and the person has in mind. I created this kind of thing. I don't know. But definitely it's a bad design. And then this sea saucer, is it a good design or a bad design? Who is talking? Okay, so it's a bad habit. Okay, yeah. For me,
when you're using your spoon to stir it, to be hitting
the first spoon.
Hitting the walls. Then secondly, the handle here is very tiny. Imagine that the sea is hot and I want to carry it. The handle is too tiny. That means that just my thumb I'll be using to carry it. So it is a bad design. It is not convenient for me as a user. It is a bad design. So the next one is this Apple laptop charging port. See the two charging ports close to each other. I have inserted a USB, a flash. So I want to insert a USB port. There's no way I can insert it again because they are too close to each other. So definitely it's a bad design that needs to be worked on. And this other one is a chair. Who can tell me? Okay, I don't want to talk. Who can tell me what is wrong with it? Who can tell me what's wrong with this armrest chair? I don't want to be the one to talk. I want to know if we are seeing it or it is just me that is seeing it. What is wrong with the chair? Armrest chair.
I would say because I school in a French country, so it's mostly used in the French vicinity or environment, and it's not so comfortable whenever you want to stand up, and it's not comfortable for the back either. So it's a bad design.
Okay, that's a great one. That's a great one, but I'm actually saying something else. This is, if you look at it very well, when you sit on it, the armrest, or should I call it the mini table, is going to be by your right. So definitely it's only for right-hand users. Like if you're a left-handed person, there's no way you can use it. Like it's not going to be convenient.
It's mainly for French people, so you can't say it's a bad design for Nigerians. So the design, this particular design is for French people, like it's for French.
Okay. Does it mean
countries.
that they don't use left hand? Are they all use right hand?
In France, their driving side is on the right.
Right.
On the left, so that's why they designed it like this, according to the way the origin of this chair is about. That's part of what they coined out for it. We do your research.
Okay. So imagine that the French person using this is a right-handed. How is the person left-handed? How is the person supposed to write? Because I want to understand. How is he supposed to write with it? The left-handed person.
It's best known to their community.
Okay, I get what you're saying. But for me, as a user, for me, I know I am not their target audience. So imagine that I go to their country and I want to use, I am giving this kind of thing, and I'm a left-handed person. For me, I will see it as a bad design. So that's why I said at times a pain point can be
You look for an
user.
alternative.
You said?
I said you look for an alternative.
I look for an alternative. I mean, the essence of it is not achieved for me. I just got the channel and cannot use it. So for me, it is not useful. Yes. So I think that is the last example I have here, and I have come to the end of my presentation. So in conclusion, any good product you see out there, when you make your research very well, you will know that the product is a research-driven product. There's no good product you see out there that just came out like that. They just started designing and that was it. No, every good product you see, I mean, you would have seen years of research. And one thing about research is that it doesn't stop at the product, at the point where you launch your product. It continues. So a good product is a research-driven product. Then the second point I would like to take was that a bad UX, it creates a lasting memory than that of a good one. I mean, when you come across a bad product, there's just this memory it leaves you that you will not just forget. You have been coming across good products, so you are not complaining. But once you come across one bad product, I mean, the way you'll be complaining and the way you even spread the word to others, I mean, it can be alarming. So as a good UX designer that we are, we should endeavor, I mean, by all means, that our products are good. And when I say good, I mean they are research-driven products. Then the third point is that a good product can self-advertise as well as a bad one. So I have a business I do alongside. So for my business, anytime people are asking me for my account details, when I tell them I use OPay, and then I'm asking them what bank I'm using. Imagine some of them will just say, what's this bank? Keystone or Wema Bank. Immediately I'll just feel irritated that how on it? Just open OPay. OPay is the easiest. OPay are not paying me to advertise it, but because I love their product, I love their services. It is something that I have never had any problem with OPay. I have never had any problem. I don't know of other people. I've never had any. So because of the experience I've always had with this product, I'm always advertising, and yet nobody's telling me to do. I tell people about OPay a lot. So a good product can self-advertise as well as a bad one. And the last point again that I'm going to reiterate to us is that a good product is a research-driven product. You want to build a product that is successful. You want to build a product that, just like Airbnb, the way Airbnb is everywhere, people talk about it. When you look at it very well, you say they are sold is what people are seeing. People are just seeing the UI and all the fine, but research, a lot of research has actually gone deep just so that the product can be the way it is. So a good product, for the last time, is a research-driven product. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you
so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
I mean, if you be in UI UX and you are looking for like a roadmap and you listen to Abidemi from beginning till now, then honestly, she has given you like a roadmap on how you can start your UI UX career. And then if you had joined earlier when we had an amazing speaker, Femi, he mentioned a lot of things around UX strategy, and two things I've noticed from, or one particular thing I've noticed from most speakers while speaking is that you mentioned that
Did you just me or the voice is breaking? Sorry. We can't hear you, honestly.
Is it can everyone hear me now?
No, my thing breaking, man.
Still breaking.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so thank you, Abidemi, for that presentation. It was awesome and educating. Thank you very much. Okay, so if you have question now, you can start. You can unmute yourself and speak or drop in the chat box. So I think this is question time.
Okay, please, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
It's breaking, man.
Okay, please just drop your questions. Let me try with
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I really appreciate the opportunity to be at this event. Thank you, Mr. Femi. Thank you, Abidemi. It was really educative. But I have some questions, and specifically, my question is directed to Mr. Femi. Mr. Femi, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, sir. So in the course of your presentation, you mentioned psychology of design. And from my understanding, when you're talking about psychology, you are talking about both the designer and as much as the user you're designing for. So I want to ask now, my question is based on two parts. This is the first one. So how, as designers now, probably for me, I'm not so long in this career yet. My question is, how do we react to feedback without feeling bad? You know, some of these designs, some of us spend maybe like 2 nights, sleepless nights, just to work on like 2 to 3 pages of design. At the end of the day, you submit it to maybe the client, and kind of they look like, what have you done? Something that you have always worked for 48 hours nonstop, and they kind of look down on the work. So without feeling bad, I understand there's a place for, as a designer, you should be expecting feedback. So based on the psychology of design, how do we respond to that? In as much as we want to satisfy our user, how do we feel bad not satisfying ourselves, not satisfying our user? That's the first question. Then the other question is, just as a young designer now, just starting now, you are trying to put your work out there, even though you feel you are not good enough. How do you suppress the feeling of not being good enough? Even though at least there's a place in your heart that tells you, at least I can do this, I can do that. But when then you see some designs on Twitter, on LinkedIn, you are like, God, or at least for some time, you know that you have this, even though not much, but you have something. How do you post your design and not feeling bad? How do you try to cope that fear of not being good enough? Those are my questions, sir. Thank you.
All right, so they're very nice questions, and the truth is, I personally went through all of these things, so it's nice I explained this to you. So, how to react to bad or poor feedback from clients? Honestly speaking, Adekunle Gold, you go need God grace, but then there are few things you need to, number one, you have to stay calm. When a client is trying to talk to you, don't be defensive. First, stay calm. Now, my coming to Lagos was because of how I reacted to a client's feedback. The person just gave me a job, like come and work for my company. The person happened to be an HR person. I didn't even know. Then I designed a logo for the person. The person said, are you looking for a job? Can you work in my company? How much do you want us to pay? And so don't be defensive. Yes, ma. All right, ma. But how about this, ma? So listen and understand what the person is saying. So customers are king normally. As a freelancer, you need to know that. You need to know that. Customers, you have to always treat them right. Then don't be defensive. Then show empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. Some of them paid this money out of their tiny pocket. So they will be paying. Some of them don't know how to talk. Yes. That psychology is good. Psychology will teach you that not everybody gets sense. Some people, they are mumu, they are not really mumu. Some people they know how to control temper. A client will see something, instead of them to tell you peacefully, they start to call you names. One client was even threatening to drag me online. I think it was 3 years ago or so. I was like, so now this nonsense they do. I know that I will drag you now. I will drag you online. And then I had about 7,000 followers on Instagram. I was like, oh boy, they drag me now. The person who will understand, say, this woman don't suffer me for this job alone. So some people are you need to understand that people have different temperaments and all that. So you need to understand them properly. So just be calm. You have to be the fool in this whole thing. Trust me. Do you have things to say? Then another thing is provide explanation. Always try to explain why you did what you did. Tell the person, this red you told me to use, it no work. I'm using this blue because of this. It doesn't mean I don't know my work. I use this. So explain to them. Finally, offer solution. Tell them, okay, I've heard what you said. I would do it. But however, I want you to know that this is what would have been better. Then finally, it will help you improve yourself, honestly. When people make corrections like that, you find out that life no hard. I was talking with somebody recently, and the person works with Facebook, Meta, sorry, and he wants to do an app. I can't wait for the app to come out. I'll put it out there because it's going to be big. And he gave me the design, like he said, work on the design. And I did it. And to me, it was perfect. When he was about to tell me that he's based in the UK, he said, Femi, this is too much. I don't want this. I want one color. I want simple icons. I don't want too much. I just want it looking very plain. I was like, so all these nights of restlessness, you just wait. So they will watch down your work sometimes, but just see it as a way to grow. It will help you understand that, honestly speaking, less is more. Sometimes we even overdo ourselves as designers. You want to put color, you want to use 3 fonts, you want to do this, you want the button to be on their face and all that. You do this, we overdo it sometimes. So just listen and use it to grow. You can't shout on a customer. Let me say it again. You can't shout on your clients. When they shout, you say, yes, sir. You say, yes, ma'am. But this is how I would have done it better. I would have said you should do it this way. Red is this. Blue stands for loyalty. Green is for agriculture. Why are you using green for a banking app? Okay, do you mean it's a growth app, a growth banking app? So if you can explain, if the client can tell you why they like green, good. Use it for them. Then, sorry, second question is how to suppress all this, I don't know if I'm calling it imposter syndrome as an entry level person. Number one, the fact that you know that you are feeling this way is good. You need to be able to celebrate your achievement, no matter how small it is. That's one way to actually suppress this thing. If you do a small course, even if it's free of charge, post it online. I am happy I finished this course. One of the first gig I got on Twitter, I never thought people get gigs on Twitter. I got $1,000. Then dollar was like 800 naira to $1. I changed it and the person paid me smooth. He didn't argue with me. And what did I post? I posted a design I did that was just 3 social media. I do a lot of that. I just do 3 screens, social media app design. And I posted it. And people retweeted, people liked it. Before I know it, this man chatted me up from I think he's in the US or so. And was like, Femi, how much would you charge for this? And then I thought $1,000 was a lot of money. I didn't even know that it was small compared to what people are charging for designs. I charged him $1,000 and he paid. So post anything. If you check my Behance today, not every page has complete case studies. And that's where I got my current job right now. My boss reached out to me on Behance. Behance is the place where people just post job and go to bed and just, people are viewing it, people are liking it, people are copying my work, they're saving it to their mood board. But no, people are getting jobs. So post every job you see. I got a message from somebody, he owns a social media company, it's called Like Look, and he wants me to join his company. He wants to have me on board for 1 year. And what did he see? He saw me design just 3 screens of a social media app. So whatever you design, put it out there. Somebody out there needs what you are designing. So just keep posting and celebrate your achievement. Then always seek support. Like, you should seek support. Have friends. Like, I connect with people a lot. I can't tell you how many people I'm actually talking to right now. People that are learning, people that are entry levels. Come into my DM, ask me questions. I will answer you. There are lots of people that I'm actually talking to, and sometimes when I tell them, okay, this is your design, this is what you should do, this is what you should do better. If you have 1 or 2 persons that are senior in UX design, reach out to them, seek for advice. And finally, challenge your negative thoughts. Whenever those thoughts arise, Just remind yourself of your skills. Remind yourself why you started this in all the way. Remind yourself of the achievement you have made. Remind yourself how far you have come. Reframe those negative things in your mind. Reframe, whenever any thought comes and say, you will never be good. Tell that thought, I will be the best designer next year. And somehow you start working towards it. Somehow, if you connect, that's why I said seek support. Be connected to people that know it. I used to tell people that as a broke guy, you can't be dating a broke girl. Sorry, that's just out of it. But then as a UX designer that is learning, you can't be friends with another person that is just learning and you people are expecting to grow together. Yeah, you guys can be friends, but you need to make friends. Try to connect with people that are ahead of you. They would help you. Like I have jobs that I don't take. And my friends know that. There are jobs that if they tell me design an app for 200K, for 300,000 naira, I'll tell you I don't do it, but I have somebody I can recommend. So if I have somebody like you that is still learning, that can do a good job, somebody tells me their budget is 200,000 naira or 300,000 naira, if you don't mind, I can refer them to you. So connect with people that would help you get jobs. Don't just stay with your friends that all of you are still learning and you guys are not, you don't even know the future. You guys, they say AI is out. You guys are discouraged. You are crying now, oh, but AI will take our job. Job will never even start. So try to be friends with people that know it. They say follow who know road. That way we can link you up. Personally, I link people up with jobs. Actually jobs that I know that I can't take, or I know I'm busy with my company job and this one I think somebody can do it. I just link you up. And that is, so that's it. I hope I've answered your question. Peter, you're not serious. Thank you.
Wow. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, that's well asked the question. And I'm very sure who asked that question has got the answers you need. It's the same everywhere in the whole tech cycle. I mean, everyone is putting themselves out. So put yourself out there. You don't have to be Mark Zuckerberg. You don't have to be that very super nice, UI UX designer. You can start from the very, very little things you do, but show them up.
Sorry, Joy. Adekunle, can you hear me? Sorry, there's one last thing I forgot to say, and it works for me. Try to connect with recruiters and product managers and software developers. I know what I'm saying. Don't follow them. Connect with them on LinkedIn, especially. Now, I connect with a lot of them every week, and I exhaust my request limit every week. Today is Friday. I'll go and check. I make sure that LinkedIn tells me that, Femi, you have exhausted your limit. Connect with as much people as possible. Make sure that I connect with recruiters in UK, in US, in Canada, everywhere. I don't know them. I don't need to know them. But as soon as I connect and you think you want to be friends with me, we'll connect and you'll be seeing my posts. So connect with as much people that will help your career. Stop connecting with junior designers and entry levels like you. Connect with people that will really see your work and they would consider maybe giving you an intern position or junior position. Sorry, I had to cut you. I just felt it will help.
That's amazing. I think that's something everyone, whether you're a UI UX designer or you're generally into tech or probably any field, should do. That's really, really exciting to know. And it's great you actually shared it. I myself have taken note of it. All right. So I really did enjoy the session, but I have just one question from my own end. I'm sure every other person is dropping their questions. So please ask your question. It's supposed to be an interactive session. So let's drop our question. My question is, and my question is actually targeted to both speakers, Femi and Abidemi. So my question is, in the course of a bad and a good design, as a product manager, most times we prioritize a software or a product working over the design. So yes, we understand the design has to be great, compelling, nice, very attractive. But if that product is not working, users are not going to use your product despite the very nice design it has. So as a UI UX or a product designer, how do you balance this? How would you resolve this conflict where there is this issue of, no, this software is not working, this product is not working. No, we don't need the design to be too nice. We just need it to work. So how do you manage this conflict? So I'll start with Femi. What's your answer to it? And then I'll move on to Abidemi.
All right. I think that's a very important question. So for me, I think I'm currently facing that in my company because they are not concerned about how the button looks, how the color looks. They just want it to be bold. They want your user to be able to see everything. They want everything to be bold out there. And one thing I always try to put in my mind as a designer is as long as it is user-centered, it solves it all. If the users are enjoying it, if you check all your tools and you find out that people are actually using the website, even with the way it's looking, then you're good to go. Another thing is, as long as there's consistency. If I'm working with product manager and I notice that you are giving me instructions that are not making my work look really nice and professional or consistent, we'll get more fight too. Because there's a rule to good design. So there's no rule to design, but if you want good designs, there are actually rules to it. There's a way you use your fonts, there's a way you use your colors and all of that. So if you're making me mix too many colors, I know that's where we'll have problem. But I don't think it's a lot of issue. Number 3, simplicity really matters. It really matters. So I'm not a fan of too many wahala too on designs. But at the same time, I want to make sure that it is simple. Then finally, is it usable and is it accessible? Because at the end of the day, we're not designing for myself. I'm not designing for you as a product manager. I'm not designing for the CTO. I'm not designing for any of the developers. We're designing for our users. So our argument now should be, can our users use this thing? Will they enjoy it? Can a blind user enjoy our app? Can a deaf person really use our app? Can somebody that has issue with typing, can they use the text reader instead? So let's ask ourselves, the user is the king in this. It's not even me and you at the end of the day. So that's what I always say my boss. Like I tell myself, I'll never work in a company where I cannot tell my boss, I cannot talk to him one-on-one. So I always tell him that, see, at the end of the day, it's not about whether it's fine or whether the font is big. It's about whether the users are enjoying it. Are the users complaining? Are they fine? Are we making money? Are they seeing the CTA up there? Are they clicking on it? If they are seeing it, I think we are balanced. That's the balance. The balance there is that we both should be concerned about our user, not about whether it is good or whether it is fine or whether it's beautiful or whether it is. The user is the king. Thank you very much.
That is so amazing. And I like that he ended it with user is king. So whatever you're doing in the field of product design, in fact, where you have to work with users, always remember that your users are king. They are the reasons why your product is still existing. So always put them first. Always put your users at the heart of your design. That was the very first point Femi made when he started. So this is really exciting. And we still have some hands up. But before I call them, there's a question in the chat here. And okay, no, I also have to hear from that of Abidemi. What do you have to say based on the question I asked before I read the next question? So I get from both sides. So Abidemi, what's your response to that question I asked?
Okay, can you hear me?
Clearly.
Okay. So I feel he has actually answered it, but let me just reiterate what he has said. Basically, for any design, I mean, the most important person we are supposed to consider are the users. Once the product designer can be complaining, can say, because it's just like that. There are some, I remember when I was doing one particular project, and I spent all my time designing and all of that. And then me meeting the product manager, the way the person just had to, lavish my work. I was really pained, but as a product designer I am, I have to actually take it in. So it is not really about me, the designer. It is not really about the product manager. It is really about the user. There are points there are times that, okay, you have to, like you mentioned, you have to actually take their feedback and then give them option. This is the reason I'm doing this thing. Look at other apps, look at other competitors out there. This is how they are doing, and it is making users, it is increasing their engagement, users' engagement. So if we do it this way, it will also increase our engagement. So let them understand that users are the main essence of developing a product, not how a product designer or a product manager feels about the product, but users specifically. So that is just what I would say. Thank you.
That's amazing. It still boils down to users, or your users are the kings of your product, right? So that's pretty cool. So there's a question in the chat here. And the question is, how do we make work more beautiful and more interacting for users? And that question is targeted to Abidemi. So just few seconds, you can just chip in a bit on that.
Okay, so we make work more beautiful and interacting for users. Firstly, is by doing your research. What do these people want? Because you can't just design a product that people will not, people downloading it and they are regretting. And if they are already apps like that, I know there was one app like that worked on one time, Bataya app. People didn't eventually use it. And the reason was because there were lots of complaints, like, and on the long run, we had to just cancel the old product, like we canceled the old project from air to toe. So for you to make work or solution more beautiful for or more interacting for users, first thing, do your research very well. And that's why at every point, that is why user research is very important at every point as you are designing, doing your wireframe, doing this, doing that. Make sure you are getting feedback from your stakeholders or from certain users so that you can know what they want. And then if you know what they want, you'll be able to create beautiful work and interacting work or product for them. So let your research be key, like let it be the first thing. Always put your users at your forefront. Make your research at every point. And once they are doing this, and then get inspirations online. There are people that have done these things before you. Get inspirations, know what they have done, know what you can improve on. So when you do all of these things, your work will be beautiful and then it will be more interactive for you. Thank you.
Great, great. That's nice. Thank you so much. So I'm sure Peter, the person who asked the question, has got the answer for it. So the second question he asked again is, can you give the best process for beginners to get into UI UX? And this is being targeted to Femi.
All right, thank you very much for that question. Usually the first thing you need to do is learn the fundamentals, learn the most important parts first. Now, when people come to me that they want to learn UI UX, I tell them first, go and watch video. What's the difference between UI UX? Are you sure your mind can carry this UX stress? UX is not just design. It has about 8 to 10, like I just checked my notes now, 8 to 10 different things you need to be doing. And some people don't like wahala in this life. So ask yourself after watching those fundamentals, do I want to do this? Number one, that's number one. Number two, try to get practical skills. Now, as you're watching those things, try to watch, like there's a crash course on YouTube. It's about 3 hours and all that. There are lots of crash courses itself. You can watch them. You don't need to pay. Watch them, then start to practice. Start to practice. The first app I designed, nobody paid me. It was on Adobe X. It was a friend. I just designed a laundry app for a friend's shop. He didn't send me, send me message. I just picked up his app, started designing, and I was like, picked up his business name and logo, started designing app. And I told him, okay, bros, I have an app. He said he doesn't have money. I said, no, I want to put it in my portfolio. Like I designed, this is my first project, and it's in my portfolio. So make sure you get practical with it. And number three, I would advise is learn from others. Learn from others. I'm following lots of people online, and funny enough, this Xander Whitehorse, there's this guy that does super fast and all that. I connected with him and he accepted my connection request. So I connect with a lot of people. I don't just follow, I try to connect so that you can see my work, I can see your work. It's very important to me that people are seeing what I post because I'm not posting for myself. So try to connect with people, try to learn from them. I'm learning from people every day. There are people that are still coming up, that are still junior, that I see some things they do. I'm like, this is a nice trick. Now, the plugin I found out recently, Memoji, also, I think it's Memoji. I didn't even know it existed on Figma. Somebody else posted it, a junior designer, and I liked it. So learn from others. Another thing is build a strong portfolio. That's what I'm saying. You need to be consistent with your design. You need to have designs. Like while you're learning, be designing some small things. Those small things will make up your portfolio. When somebody asks you, how long have you been designing? You can tell them, okay, my first project was this, my second project was this, my fourth project was this, my fifth project. I have a friend here that is right here. I think I can see him. I told him we started learning this thing together. I told him, be doing small designs. It will make up a strong portfolio at the end of the day. But he has some other things he's doing. So by the way, it's important you have people you are moving together, people you are going together. You can encourage each other, like I said. But most importantly, try to build portfolio to help you as you're growing. You can actually look through a portfolio and say, I don't grow. This year, I don't design 4 apps. I can see it. So have a Behance. If you don't have a Behance account as a designer, you are wrong. Have a Behance, have a Dribble account, and be posting your work there. That's why I got my job right now, the work I'm doing right now for a New York company. It's on Behance. They reached out to me. Then number, I don't know number, whatever I am on, but practice with real projects. I redesigned GTB app one time, and I got lots of reviews, lots of jobs. Like people actually reach out to me for redesign and all that. Through that, I just picked up their app and redesigned, changed some icons to 3D, changed some things, added an ATM location feature to it, so that if you're looking for the nearest ATM, you'll find it. I added some features that made the app look more lively. And people came up to me and they were like, I like this. Can you do this for our company? Just 2 screens, just 3 screens. And my people, listen, 2 screens, 3 screens for me is $100. So if I'm doing a full project for you, the least I charge is $1,000. The least I charge is $1,000. So I can just sit in my house and a job of 700K will just come to me to design an app from UK, from Canada. These people, they have the money, so they will pay that amount to get that job done. So always practice with real projects. Pick up Jumia. What is wrong with the app? Design it. Put it out there. Tell people, I have designed Jumia. I made this better. Thread is now trending. Pick up Thread. What mistake did you think they made? You adjust it on Figma. Post it online. Let people review. Let it go viral. Is the more insight you have, is the more visibility you get. So the more people are viewing your post, the more relevant people are seeing what you post. I designed something for TG Omori sometimes this year, and he reached out to me. TG doesn't have a website, and he's a big producer, a video director, whatever he does. And I just went online, I picked 1 or 2 of the songs he has done, Ashake's video, Sheyi Vibes, and some other people, and I just posted it, something for TG Omori. People liked it. Some people reached out to me. TG also sent me a message. How far, bros? How do you make this happen? So always, work with real life project. Then finally, network and collaborate. Events like this, try to connect with people. Like I said, if you reach out to me, I will try the little best I can to support you if I can. Tell you, okay, what to do. This is what you should follow. This is a job that is coming up. Do you want it? Do you not want it? There's a project. Would you want to be part of it? And there are lots of, the last one. And finally, try to apply for internship roles as well. The problem is, because I told you how much I earn as a freelancer now, some of you will be hoping to get a job like that, and you have not even spent 1 year yet on this. So there are internship roles too that you can use to build yourself while you are building your, you can use to build your portfolio while you're building yourself. So as you are growing your portfolio, and the money might not come immediately. The first year I told you that I started designing, the first project I did was a $0. Nobody paid me for that. So you need to work with somebody, work on real life projects, work with product managers. Let them tell you what your error is. Let them tell you, guy, you need to work on this. Your color usage is bad. Your font usage, you need to work on it. There are fonts you don't use on some kind of apps. So apply for internship roles, even if they are unpaid. There are lots of unpaid cool internship roles. There are lots of them. Some of them are foreign. Imagine telling somebody you're working for a US company, though they're not paying you anything, but at least you're building your portfolio and you have it recorded that you have worked for a US company before. It's a big deal. Thank you very much.
Wow. So if you're looking to get that big bag of money, you have to start from somewhere. Right now, you might not be earning so much, but you can actually leverage on some things. If you find a pain point, if you find where you know a thing could be done better, try to do it that way. Try to do something different and put it out there. Definitely, that's very one big gig you're waiting for will come from there. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi, for that beautiful answer you gave us. It went a long way. And then also there's another question, and the person is asking, my question is that what are the required tools, or what are the required tools for a junior? I don't get the question. Okay, let me just read it direct. My question is that what are the required tools that is required for a junior designer to level up his skills? So, Abidemi, can you answer that for us?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Femi has actually mentioned it while he was talking. YouTube is actually a very good place to learn. YouTube is good. You can also learn from Behance. Go to Behance, take up people's projects, redesign it like you mentioned, take up real life projects like that. Even there are some groups on Twitter that people post their projects. Join groups, see what people are doing, use to do it. So all of these things are actually good resources that can help level up as a junior designer, especially YouTube. You will learn a lot on YouTube. There's a lot to learn. On YouTube. So thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. So YouTube should be your friend. If you don't like spending time there, or maybe you spend time doing other things, I think you should actually channel that energy into watching more videos or tutorials on how you could get better to improve your own skill. And please learn to work on projects. You don't have to be in a company or given a project to work on. Start building something on your own and just put it out there. It could help build your portfolio. Thank you so much, Abidemi. Thank you so much, Femi. I mean, I really, really enjoyed this session because I might not directly be a UI UX designer, but I get to play around these things, and a lot of the lessons here are things I should also take note of. So it's nice. It's nice having you guys. So I mentioned earlier that I had something for you all, and I would just do a little rundown on it before we call it a day. So I talked about the Bincom Global Tech Program. Here at Bincom, we have a program that is designed to help you launch your tech career globally. So whether it's UI UX, whether it's graphics design, whether it's software development, or literally anything, but you need to learn a skill or you need to gain experience, you already have the skill, you already have the knowledge, and you need experience like internships. Bincom Global Tech Program is for you. Now you've got this skill, you've got this experience, but you need exposure so you can actually get more gigs and all. We have this program for you, which is the Bincom Global Tech Program. So we have different payment options, but this training is actually valued at 1.2 million naira for 2 years, 1 year, depending. But we also have other options where other programs you could do 3 months, you could do 6 months, you could do lesser programs, and they are actually very affordable. You can also pay instrumentally. You can also learn now and pay later because you're certain that you will land a job after this session. So after the training. So if you check the charts now, there is a link for you to, so if you have any interest now, you can simply use the link on the chat now to get started. So you can register for the program. And then also we have the Emigrate program too, where I know most of you here are looking for how you can relocate to maybe the UK, maybe US, maybe Canada, maybe France. We have ways we can help you get your tech-enabled visa. So what can Emigrate service cover? General inquiry, coaching enhanced holding, preliminary assessment of your qualification status. We also have self-directed roadmap to qualifying a tech-enabled visa, roadmap to globally attractive tech profile. Example, the Global Talent Visa, review of your UK Global Talent application, endorsement review process. So this is what our Emigrate services covers. So if you're looking to relocate or get the tech-enabled visa, the Global Talent Visa, we have the Emigrate service for you. The link is also included in the chat here, so you can actually indicate interest and you'll be reached out to for further processes. It's really, really great to have Abidemi and Femi here speaking to us on UX strategies, designing delightful UI UX designs. Yeah, so I've learned quite a lot. I've learned so much, and I'm sure you do not want to miss these amazing speakers. Their LinkedIn handle has been sent in the chat, so do well to connect with them and stay updated with things they post. You can also connect with them to learn more, and I'm sure the sky is going to be the sky won't just be our limit. We'll go beyond the skies if we actually put out these steps or these strategies that we've learned today. Thank you so much for joining. I'm super excited that we have everyone here, and I want you guys to have an amazing day. The day is still on, so have an amazing day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, except someone has RSVPs for us. If you have rice, stew, and very plenty things, you can always drop it. You can send it across to us. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We really enjoyed the session. Does anyone has anything to say? Else we can all drop off.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank you very much, Mr. Feby, for that awesome advice and everything. I just want to ask a little question, not really much. You said about connecting with the recruiters. So how do we write it on LinkedIn? Like we are looking for recruiters to connect with. Like what are the things that we need to write there? Is it their complaints or how do we get there?
Okay, so I guess your question is targeted to Femi, and you're asking, please get me. Question is how to connect, right?
Yeah, what do we try? Because you were saying that we can connect with recruiters. So, like, I don't know their names. So, how do we message or find their names on LinkedIn to connect with?
Okay, so Mr. Femi, please, can you
Okay.
actually ask a question?
Yeah, like I told you, I really don't need to know these people by name. I know a few of them. I know them by their works. I know them by how people are talking about them. Don't be scared. I've connected with the CEO of Plenty Waka before, and he accepted my connection. I don't know how. I don't know why. CEO of Lumos, this MTN Lumos. I just send connection requests. So some people go all the way to send message itself. You attach a message to your connection. So sending connection request, you attach a maybe good afternoon, ma. I am this, and I would like to follow you. Some people will go all the way to say, okay, I love what you do, and I like to just connect with you. If it's a developer I try and follow, just develop, okay, I like your work, I like how I feel we can collaborate more, or we'll collaborate one day. So connect with me. But to be honest with you, I don't like Wahala in my life. I just send connection requests. And because I post constantly, they come to check I see a lot of profile views, like daily or weekly. People come to view you that you want to follow me, what have you posted? That's why I'm saying that you need to be consistent with posting. Post things. Post anything you design. You don't know. Ask what's the name of this guy? Zazu. Whoever thought that song will go viral? Post anything, even if it's nonsense. Post it, let people comment, let them drop their. You don't know which of your work will go viral one day. Like I told you guys, most of the jobs I've done that got people that got me attracted to, that got people attracted to me. So I jobs I never thought, just 2 screens, 3 screens. I just designed UBA app, redesign UBA app. I've redesigned I think Polaris Bank app. Just pick anything. If you are bored, pick any life job. People are complaining about threads. Pick it up, adjust it, post it, send connection to anybody and see if they will not accept it. Because when people are actually chatting with you, people assume that, okay, this person has something to say, this person has something I can learn, this person has something I can teach him. So just connect randomly. And how do you search for them? So what I do, I go to the search. Let me show you. Let me share my screen. It's just going to be for 1 minute. So you confirm you can see my screen, please.
It's coming up. Yes, we can see your screen. All
right. So the last time I was sharing you guys about AI, I didn't know that my screen was not showing. So I showed you guys that I was able to type in this prompt and AI came up with survey questions for me. So this was the answers it came up with. Then I also typed that I need user persona for my project and AI came up with it. I didn't stress myself. So, but what I want to show you now is LinkedIn, how you search for these people, how you can connect with these people. And yeah. So what I do, I go to my network here. And I just search, maybe you will see some of the tech recruiter, United Kingdom. That's just your prompt. Once you search for tech recruiters, then it will give you a list of people that are tech recruiters in UK. And you can just click on them and just come to more. Okay, I've sent connection request to this person. Let me look for someone I've not connected with. You seem to have connected with a lot of people. Especially the premium ones, those ones, they definitely have things. Okay. Can you see this pending? I've already sent requests to all these people. Can you see this? So I told you guys, I always exhaust my request and they accept it. So just come to more, you will see connect here. Don't click on follow. Follow means you're just following them. They won't see your work. You'll be seeing their work. And let me show you what happens when you do that. So this is just for today. Let me show you something. This is just for today. Most of them are from this class. But look at today. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. From yesterday, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's from 2 days ago. So sometimes in a week, I can get up to 200 followers. And so 200 connect. And that's because I'm not a celebrity yet. So I need to follow people. I need to connect with people. We'll get to a point where we can just relax and let people be connecting with us. But for now, I want to connect with everybody. Whether you are a UI UX person, whether you are a software person, whether you are a CEO. He's a CEO that I'm connecting. So if this person needs a mobile app design now, they can sure reach out to me. Connect with everybody. This is a recruiter and she's in the US. I connect with her. This is another product lead. She's not in, I think she's in the UK. This is a senior tech recruiter. I connected with. This is a tech recruiter, sorry, for United Kingdom and Europe, blah, blah, blah. So I connect with everybody. This is another tech recruiter. So just connect with them. Some of them will reach out to you and tell you, Femi, can you work with us? Or this is our budget. Maybe. So just randomly, you don't need to know their name or anything. Just type in maybe product managers, United Kingdom. And it will give you a list of people that are product managers in UK. Yeah, some of them are. Can you see this one? So just click connect. Sometimes they will let you click connect like this. They will ask you, do you want to add a note? If yes, if no, just click send. This is another person I want to connect with. Click send. So I keep doing this until LinkedIn tells me, Femi, you have exhausted your request for the week. And they will never block you. I've been doing this for the past almost 2 years now. They won't block you. Just make sure that you don't do it later. How do I say that in English? Just do like 10 today, 20 today, do another 20 tomorrow, do another 20 next tomorrow, just like that, till you exhaust it. That way, if you send a request to 100 people, at least 50 or 40 would connect back with you. They connect back to you, sorry. Thank you.
Oh my God, this is like a session that gets handy every time. So if you follow us to this, I'm sure you must have learned a lot. Myself, I've learned something. I've also learned a trick too, and I would also implement it for my own personal development, for my own area of expertise. So thank you so much, Mr. Femi. I mean, this is like a full packaged practical session you've given to us. I really, really, really appreciate the time. I really appreciate the efforts from both speakers and the team hosting this event. That's the graphics team at Bincom Dev Center. We really, really enjoy this session. We really appreciate it. I think I should also drop my own LinkedIn. Because I didn't drop it. I just went on and noticed that I didn't drop it after asking everyone to drop. Yeah, so I'm dropping my LinkedIn URL here, so you can connect with me. I will also connect with everyone here. I've had a list of it stored already, so I'll just do that after this session. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Does anyone have anything else to say or chip in before we call it a day?
Yes, please. Mr. Femi, my network got lost the other time. I couldn't get the last point you were trying to say. Could you please maybe just in the next few seconds just summarize it, sir?
All right. So the last one I did on LinkedIn now.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody was asking how you connect with people. Like, how do you connect with relevant people? Do you need to have
I'm talking about my questions. The question I asked.
Okay. Oh, can I remember the question again?
I asked about imposter syndrome.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Junior designers and the rest. So
yeah, that's true. So I listed a few things. I hope I can Let me see. I hope. Okay. Okay. So I said number one, since you recognize itself, you are already on your way to healing. You are already on your way to getting better at what you do. Number two, celebrate your achievement, my brother, no matter how small it is. Even if you design one mobile app design, post it and say, today is day one, and I designed a profile screen. I am happy. Post it. People will be, if you have good friends, people will celebrate with you, and you will definitely know that you are making progress. Tomorrow, post day two. I designed a menu frame. Number three, post day three. I designed a user profile screen. Day four, I designed. Post your progress. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. The another thing I said is seek support and validation. I said you can't always be friends with people that don't know how to do it. You can't always be friends with learners and all that. Try to connect with people that would help you, people that would support you. And I said, I can't count how many people that reach out to me sometimes. Femi, please help me check my design. Femi, check this Figma link. What do you think about this design? What do you think? So let people support you. That way you can know that, okay, you're making progress. Sometimes what you need is just somebody to tell you that, Adekunle, this design is nice. This design is nice. Just change this red. Change this. This red is too bright, but the entire design is fine. So it's because you don't get people commenting, you don't get people's feedback. That's why you feel discouraged sometimes. Then I don't know if I talked about accepting mistakes, but then you need to accept mistakes and failure sometimes. When people comment, sometimes it's not good, it's not fair, but just take it. Then I said challenge your negative thoughts. Whenever that thought comes, that self-doubt thought, that one that tells you that, see this guy don't go far. When you won't reach that stage, when you won't reach this, always challenge it. And one thing I learned recently is don't just challenge it with, it is well. Say it. Say it out. Say, I'm better. I'm good. I will be good in this thing. Give me 2 years. You know that, do something like that. I know where I'm coming from and I'll be good. Give me 2 years. Come back and check me in 2 years. I'll be fine. I'll be better. And I think finally I said focus on the user. Always make sure that what you're designing, you are focusing on users and you are posting relevant content. There are lots of things I can share with you if you connect with me, share with you things you can be designing to get visibility, to get engagement on your page. Don't just be designing food app because everybody's designing food app. You can design your own food app and make it a food app that you can order food and get paid at the same time. Or order food and they will deliver free drinks. To just do something different. You have to be different. But most importantly, celebrate your achievements. You are making progress, and now you go encourage yourself. Sometimes people will not encourage you. Sometimes you need to clap for yourself. You need to encourage yourself. That way, the more you do that, the more you feel the progress. And you need to connect with the right people. If you say you know Sabi, they connect with people who know Sabi. You need to connect with people that know the road and will encourage you and make it, and people that will link you up with jobs. Then I'll say something about taking internship roles, please. Don't run from internship roles. There are lots of them online. There are lots of internship roles online. And you can, give me 1 minute. I always like to show proof for these things I'm doing. And give me 1 minute to do this. So you confirm you can see my screen?
It's coming up. Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. So for those of you that use LinkedIn, you can see my LinkedIn, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how to search for jobs. And the truth is we don't tell you all these things, but in the last few years or 2 years, I've applied for 452 jobs, UX design jobs, 452. So if you apply one, then send the rejection mail, you vex. You never see anything, no. Honestly. You apply for it I apply for at least 10 jobs daily, and this is what I do. I search for maybe UI designer worldwide because I'm not looking for Nigerian jobs again. UI designer worldwide, and they give me a list. So I'll tell them, okay, I want the ones that were posted 24 hours ago because these other ones, some of them, over 200 people have applied, like you can see here. So it will give me a list and show me that, okay, these are the ones that were posted. This is like 3 hours ago. And the truth is, most of these jobs, I've gotten to the interview stage. In fact, a lot of them are going, it's just when it goes to the money part, when they will tell you, we are not paying you for the first 2 months, we want to test you. You now use me to do your work and all that. So look at jobs, there are jobs here. Some of them are junior. So if you're looking for like internship role, you can actually specify that you're looking for internship. So this graphic design intern, some of these roles, when you open them, they're actually internship roles, graphic design intern. So on this graphic design intern, actually UX design, they will tell you must know how to use Figma, you must know how to use this. Apply for it. Some of them, they will pay you a little above $700 per month. But it's still something. If you're earning $700 in Nigerian, that's about 500K per month. So come online, search for the jobs that you think will fit you. Junior roles, there are junior UX designer, junior UI designer. Read the requirements. read the requirements. Am I qualified? 5 years. Okay, this is not what I'm looking for. Apply, look for another one. And there's something I learned recently. You can actually copy all of this information, put it on ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT to come up with a sort of CV, how you arrange your CV or your cover letter for this job, and it will do it. No, that's not what we're talking about today. But then you can actually apply for any job and get it from Nigeria. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, I talk too much.
Thank you very
No,
much.
no. This is something that you won't just come across with on a normal day. So it's like a full package. I'm telling you, Sophia. All right, thank you so much. Please, does anyone have any final question or final words before he goes? But like I said, the Abidemi's LinkedIn has been shared here. Femi's LinkedIn has been shared here. If you do not want to miss out on premium content, please connect with them and follow them so you can always stay updated in the world of design. What's happening? What can you do differently? Or you need someone that you can talk to, you can always connect with them. So please follow them, connect with them, and connect with everyone here as well. I really, really enjoyed this session. I don't know about you, but for myself, I really, really enjoyed today's session. It was really educating. It was really, really interesting. So any final words from anyone before we call it a day?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, but your voice is kind of faint.
I just want to thank Mr. Femi because I've learned a lot today. Because by mistake, I just logged into my LinkedIn and I saw the post, the flyer, and I said, I'm going to attend this. And honestly, it has really been impactful. Thank you so much. What I just said today, I'm looking up to you, honestly. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for organizing this meeting. Very, very good.
You're welcome, man.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. Thank you so much, Abidemi. I really appreciate the time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It was really, really impactful. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. We have other meetups like this coming up, and we will also let you know of other graphics or UI UX meetups we organize. So we'll reach out to you so you can join. And don't forget, Mr. Femi also talked about using AI. And trust me, there's a session coming up. So follow Bincom pages on our social media platforms, Bincom Dev Center, to stay updated. So we have a session coming up the last Saturday of this month, and it's an ICT career talk. The question is, will AI take your job? So I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you there. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. It was really amazing having all of you, most especially the speakers. It was impactful. Thank you guys for joining. We can all have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Peter, please, good afternoon. Please make me the host. I want to stop the live stream. Or you can end the meeting for end of the two.